Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we find ourselves in Viera, Florida, looking at another gorgeous luxury home. Now, this one is built by Christopher Burton Luxury Homes. This is the first time we've seen this builder on this channel, and I'm excited to bring to you their Andros 2. Now, Christopher Burton Luxury Homes is a fully custom home builder. They typically don't like to build the same home twice, and the reason being is because they want to bring your ideas to life. Now, starting on the exterior, you see that we have the stucco and the stacked stone, as well as the wood accents on the right and the left side of this home. You are going to have this 3-car garage right over here to the left. Now, really what I want you to pay attention to is the curb appeal. Done a fantastic job of the landscaping itself. This is a lakefront property. Now, what I want to go ahead and do is turn you around so that way you can see the front, and that way you get a better idea of where this home is positioned. All right, now when I turn you around, looking at this massive covered front porch, it's a 10-foot wide covered front porch. Now, you see that we have the massive pivot door as well. Now, before we go in there, you see that we also have the modern light fixtures. There's gonna be a tile roof here as well, and plenty of parking that is available. Now, once we step up here, look how wide this is. When you talk about a grand entrance, this is something that comes to my mind, and you let me know in the comments below. Now, you are gonna have a pivot door as well with the glass panes. You can see straight through, looking at that beautiful lake. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but let's get you inside this grand foyer. All right. So as soon as we enter, you see that we have the tray ceilings, and I love how wide this opening is. Outstanding. Now, you are going to have these recessed areas with the shelving, so perfect for your decor. You are going to have that mirror behind there, and this one is for sale at the time of this recording for $4.55 million. Now, that can and may change, so it might be best to get in while you can. Now, you are going to have the tile accents on both sides as well. You're going to see that throughout. Now, as we continue, look at this gorgeous great room. Now, the first thing you are going to notice is the curated furniture. Then you have the tray ceilings with the exposed beams, 12 foot. And then you're going to notice the 10-foot sliders on both ends. And then you're going to see some additional sliders once we continue to the great room. Now, that's going to be a Dimplex fireplace. You got the floor to ceiling tiling right there. And then you just have that modern look that a lot of folks are looking for, especially in 2025. Now, before we continue, I want to make sure I just give you a full scope of the entire layout, and then we're going to continue right behind me and then make our way over there to the kitchen. Now, the cool thing about this one is on both ends, and I'll show you in just a second, you're going to have these pocket doors. So that's going to separate between the great room and the game room. So let's say, for instance, if you're not using it for whatever reason, you can go ahead and close these off, and that way you have that nice, sleek look. And then I'll just back up a little bit so you can see what it would look like. Okay, so as we continue, look at this. Now, you talk about places or spaces to entertain. This is what I'm talking about. So you have your sliders continuing in here, have that indoor outdoor feel, and then look as I turn around here. All right, so you are gonna have the tray ceilings with the cove lighting. Inside of that little lip right there, LED lights really illuminating this entire room. Now, as far as the wood flooring is concerned, you see we have the large panes or the large panels, and then you are gonna have that herringbone pattern right here. So nice subtle details that bring out this home, gives it a ton of character. Now, as we continue right here, you are gonna see that bar area here. So like I said, the epitome of entertaining is right here. So you got an additional sink, you got a beverage fridge right over here to the right, that's Sub-Zero. Every single cabinet door and drawer in here is gonna be soft closing, so you don't have to worry about that. And you see they have a ton of awards, and really the awards speak for themselves. Now, I love that we have the quartz countertops. You have this kind of fabric material as far as the wallpaper is concerned. That's going to continue from the counter to the ceiling there. And then just look at the beautiful furniture. Now, I'm telling you, if you wanted to add that pool table in there if you're into that. You got the ping pong table. You just have a ton of space. And even if you wanted to take that out and just add that down the road, you can certainly do that. Now, if that wasn't enough, then you head right up here and look at this. An additional media area. That's probably what I would typically use it for. But right under here, you see that we have some additional accent lighting there. Now I want to continue up here so you can just see the depth of this. Now I love that we have picture windows looking at that gorgeous view out there of that lake. So you can imagine hanging out here every day. Now I will warn you, if you were to live in a house like this, you probably wouldn't leave. So don't say I didn't warn you whenever you purchase. Now continue over here. This is going to be your powder bath. Now this is perfect access right here to the backyard, of course. Your lanai back there. See, you got the quartz countertops, beautiful vanity. Got the little linen storage right over there. Then you got the circle mirror with the LED lighting in there. So a lot of cool modern features that you're going to see throughout this home. Now you are going to have that accent wall as well. And then the wood flooring is going to continue inside of here. Now the cool thing is about this particular home is the primary suite is on the other side of the house, the other wing. So we'll get to that in a little bit later on. And then the additional 3 bedrooms are right on the other side of this wall. We'll get to that in a second. There is an additional powder bath. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. But I want to go ahead and take you over here to the left so that way we can surround the perimeter. Now, as you head down this hallway here, I want to open up every single door for you. This is going to be the furnace. And then, of course, if you wanted to customize this plan, let's say if you wanted to start here and then maybe, have a smaller version of it, add different rooms that may suit you and the family better, you can do that. I'm telling you, they will bring your ideas to life. Okay, so this is going to be a shared bathroom right here. You got your quartz countertops, custom cabinetry right here with the chrome hardware. Then of course you got the LED mirror again, the sconce right above that, and this is going to be your walk-in shower. Now I love that they included the shower bench. We talk about that quite often. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Then you got your shower niche, and then you have your brush nickel shower head and shower valve. Now you're going to have that porcelain tile inside of here. Then you got a little curb right there, as you can see, where the shower floor meets the bathroom floor. And I love that as well. Now, separating this from the first bedroom we're going to see is going to be a pocket door right here. As you can see on the video, now that's a queen size bed. You got your 2 nightstands, and you can see how much walk room you still have available. Now there is going to be tile in here. Now I know for sure, we talk about that quite often as far as having carpet inside of the secondary bedrooms. But I love the fact that they increased or at least continued the tile in here. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this model. I mean, goodness gracious, you really cannot get much better than this. And then of course, as we start to do more model home tours, you start seeing other nuances and things that you may like as well. But okay, so this is going to be our second bedroom right here. So you see how much space you have, even with this curated furniture. Look at that. You got like this woven, material surrounding the mirror right there. This is your dresser, of course, your nightstands on that side. And just look at the amount of space that you still have. That's exactly what I like to see. Now you are going to have this beautiful sleek baseboards. You will see that throughout this home. Then there's going to be an additional pocket door right there separating from our ensuite. Now, the cool thing is this is the shower tub combo, but the good thing is you don't have to add that shower curtain in there. You already got it glass enclosed. Got your quartz countertops, your sleek cabinetry. Same thing with the mirror. Before we continue, this is going to be our nice little linen closet, and then our additional closet is right across this way, so you don't have to worry about it being inside of the bathroom. I get comments about that as well. Very sleek, very modern. It even continues over here, as you can see. And then if of course you wanted to add some additional racks in here, you can certainly do that. Okay, so we'll continue down the hallway to the left. This is our third bedroom, and there's going to be a total of 4 bedrooms, so make sure you stay tuned for the primary suite. You do not want to miss that. Okay, so now we have our queen bed, our 2 nightstands here, and then you can see we have an additional sitting area. If you wanted to, you know, eliminate that and then just go ahead and have that dresser there, you can certainly do that. Nice plush rug here. And then I'm gonna stand on this angle so you can get the full scope of the entire room. Love it. Very spacious and, more importantly, extremely practical. So let's go ahead and continue. Now you are going to have an ensuite in here, and then of course the separate walk-in closet. Same thing on both sides. And as I mentioned earlier, you can add some additional racks if you want to. Now I want to be as thorough as possible, so I may be going a little bit slower than usual just so we don't miss anything. Trust me, when we've rushed it in the past, we've just kind of breezed through it, and I don't want that to happen. All right, so an additional walk-in shower right here. Nice large shower niche, as you can see, and then the beautiful tile on the shower floor right there. So I love that. And then don't even get me started on the LED mirror right there. You got 2 additional sconces that you get to take advantage of. High-end cabinetry. Love everything about this. Okay. So now let's go ahead and continue. So we've seen this wing of the house. You saw the game room. You saw the great room. Now let's go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes. So now as we walk in here, like I said, you have the 10-foot sliders straight ahead right there, but then you have some additional sliders inside of your open concept dining area. Now I love this beautiful chandelier hanging down right above our dining room table. Now you see that you can comfortably fit 8 folks in here, possibly up to 10. Now right behind that, you're gonna have that nice, sleek wine closet. Look at that. And you know, we always talk about it as far as if you are a wine drinker, you can certainly, you know, go ahead and showcase that. And then if not, you know, just have some empty bottles in there. I don't know why they would be empty, because you didn't, you know, shouldn't have drank it. Maybe you give them some to some friends and family. But I love this. Okay, so then this is gonna open up to the kitchen. Of course, you're gonna have that beautiful floating ceiling right there with the cove lighting inside. Now you are gonna notice the stacked cabinets. You're gonna have the separate refrigerator and freezer. This is gonna be the waterfall countertops that you really want inside of a modern luxury home. Look at this. Okay, so then of course you got your bar area. Now the cool thing about this is they opted to have the sink inside of here. Now this is completely motorized, so with the press of a button, this will completely open up. So you have that additional bar on the other side right here. So if you're entertaining guests, they don't have to walk around to go ahead and get a beverage. They can certainly just get one through that window. Now, as mentioned before, you got the stacked cabinet with the like the frosted privacy glass in there. So if you wanted to add some additional accent lighting, you can certainly do that. Now look how neat this is. All Thermador appliances. You got your cooktop inside of your island. Then of course the soft closing cabinetry, as you can see right here. Now you may be wondering, how would you go ahead and vent the things? So with the press of an additional button, you open that up and look at this. Oh, love what I'm seeing right here. So that'll open up completely right there, and you can just go ahead and have that and then take advantage of that without having to worry about, you know, smelling up the entire house or anything like that. And then you are going to see that you're going to have that beautiful backsplash right there, some additional sconces right above that. And then look at this. Now, of course, as always, we open up the refrigerator and the freezer. So I want to open that up for you so you can see. This will be the freezer on this side. And we've seen that quite often with other, you know, luxury models or other luxury custom homes, whether they're custom or spec homes. And folks seem to like that. Now you are going to see the accent lighting right underneath the cabinetry, so that's going to be lit up completely, as you're going to tell. The wood flooring continues in here. Then you got the double Thermador oven over there, built-in Thermador microwave, and then continuing right here. Look at this. So you got all the shelving that you need for all of your dry goods. You got some additional counter space over here and an additional sink. So I love that. So if you're doing dishes over there, you have the kiddos over here doing the dishes. You know, kill two birds with one stone. That's what they say, right? And then you see the additional sleek cabinetry. And then you're also going to notice the two-tone material. So adding a ton of character again. And then let me do a full pan so you can really get the full scope of the great room, dining area, and the kitchen. Now, as mentioned, you do have an additional powder room, and that's going to be off here. So if you have the guests inside of the great room or the kitchen and you're entertaining, then you can go ahead and have them over here. Now, I love the quartz countertops, as you're going to see right here. Then you got the pendant lights hanging down, additional circle mirror, and then you are noticing the accent wall is going to extend from this side all the way around. And of course, you got your toilet right there. Okay, now what I really want to do is I can't wait to show you this primary suite. So as soon as you enter in, you're going to notice this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. So then the tile is going to go from tile back to wood flooring, as you are going to see. Now I'm going to take you over here to the right first and foremost, okay? So look at the depth of this. Beautiful primary room. Now you're going to have the vaulted ceilings. Look at that. Additional sliders right there. You can access a little private patio if you wanted to. Just kind of hang out, have a nice chat, especially, you know, Monday mornings before you head to work. That's a perfect place for you. Now, I love the amount of space that you have in here. Very minimal, but still extremely elegant at the same time. That's a king size bed. You got your designated sitting area over there. 2 nightstands, beautiful chandelier. Just all the above. And wait till you see the primary bath. So you are going to have the his and hers closets. This is the first one right here, and this is going to be the his closets. As soon as you see this, look at this. So I love how generously spaced it is in here. Now you got your built-ins. You got plenty of rack space, plenty of shelving, as you can see. So you put your shoes right there. You put your ties straight ahead over there, all custom cabinetry and woodworking. Right behind that one, we have some racks, as you're going to see. And let's take a look at our primary bath. Love this. All right. So as soon as we walk in, you have the porcelain tile, and then you're going to see these beautiful French doors. Freestanding tub right there. So you're going to have your his sink right there. Then right behind, you're going to have some accent lighting behind the mirror. So very sleek. You got the pendant lights hanging down. Straight ahead right here, you got a designated vanity area. Do your makeup, some additional pendant lights, as you can see. Oh my goodness. Now the coolest thing is right here. So this is glass enclosed. You might be wondering, where is the door? How am I going to get in, right? Well, if you haven't guessed it just yet, you head over here. You got some additional shelving, as you are going to see. This is going to be a 0 threshold. So you got the stone material right down there. You got 3 separate shower valves. You got the dual shower head and the shower wand. Oh my goodness. Can you really get much better than that? Now the only thing is, if you ever wanted to add that shower bench, you can certainly do that. That's the only thing that I would add to that. But other than that, fantastic job. Right here to the left, you're gonna have your water closet, and wait till you see the additional closet. So you got the high ceilings inside of here. This is going to connect to the laundry room. We'll see that in a second. Porcelain tile extends here. And look how much space you have available. So any size wardrobe would fit in here. No issues whatsoever. Then you have the island, the little, closet island in here. So some additional drawers that you can take advantage of. Again, soft closing. And then you have the glass enclosed cabinet doors on that side. So of course that would probably be for your most valuable wardrobe, maybe some showpieces that you don't wear every single day, but you want it to be on display. Now I love this beautiful chandelier hanging down right here. Has like these nice glass blowout balls. with some additional lighting in there. So very elegant, extremely timeless. And the cool thing about this is extremely sleek. So you close this right here, right? And it just looks like a normal door. On the other side of this, it would just look like some increased cabinet doors. So very sleek. Let me close that for you so you can just see how cool this is. So you would never guess that that would lead to the closet. So I love that, how nice and subtle that is. Now on this side of the laundry room, or the utility room as I like to call it, you got the herringbone pattern backsplash right there, some additional cabinetry, and another sink you can take advantage of. Counter space galore, lower cabinetry again. And then on this side, very similar features. Now, you know, I talk about that quite often as far as the counter right above our washer and dryer. Love that. Perfect place to fold some clothes. You don't have to worry about, you know, going back and forth. And then let me make sure, open up some of these cupboards here. Look at that. Okay. Love it. So this is also going to be separated by double pocket doors right here on both ends. So you can close that off, especially if there's some guests in the meantime. Now this will be heading into your 3-car garage. This is going to be your little open mud area, so to speak. And then just so I can show you how much space is available, you got the epoxy flooring in here, plenty of space. I mean, like I said, this is a 3-car garage, but if you wanted to possibly fit a golf cart in here, you can certainly do that. And then you have a door leading to the side yard here. Okay, and then right there to the right is going to be the study. They're having a meeting right now, but there is an additional study in there. And then of course you have some additional cabinet storage here. All right. So I love exactly what I've seen inside of this home. If you haven't, let me know what your thoughts are about this home. I'd love to hear those in the comments. I typically read them throughout the day, and that way I can just kind of take that feedback and use it for the next homes. Okay. Now, as mentioned, like I said, this is that motorized slider right there, right above our bar area. Really neat. So most of the times, especially during these summer days, you are definitely going to have those open, especially on a nice day when there's no clouds whatsoever. Okay, so you're going to have your outdoor kitchen, also known as a summer kitchen, right? Now, I love the fact that you have an additional beverage fridge. You're going to have that stainless steel range hood right above our outdoor grill. Get you a nice little close-up, and let's go ahead and start on this side right here. Now, as mentioned, this is your little private area. Look at that. So again, you got your outdoor fireplace. That's Dimplex. Again, this is going to be screened in, so you don't have to worry about insects or anything like that bothering you. During your morning coffee, you can just kind of chillax, as they like to say, right? You see, you got your wood ceilings, really adding a ton of character. And then the other word that comes to my mind is just really, it's timeless, right? So plenty of space to entertain. This is a full section in itself. You see the stacked stone columns. You got an additional bar area. So if you want to go ahead and use the one right behind me, you can do that. But goodness gracious, why not sit there and enjoy the view of the pool as well as the lake? Now, you continue over here. The outdoor living continues throughout. So then you can take advantage right here. And then look at the scope of the pool too. Extremely practical. This is what I'm talking about. This is like a plug and play thing. You know, you just purchase this and then start your brand new life, or the brand new chapter right here. And then continuing, like I said, this is going to be coming in from the game room. And then remember, your first powder bath that we seen earlier in the video is straight ahead right there. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, especially when you talk about a lanai, a summer kitchen, outdoor living. This is what you want to see. And just give you another quick glimpse. Wow. All right, Rankin family, so as promised, this is our full complete study. Now you are gonna have the double sliding doors, and then immediately whenever you walk in, you see the high ceilings with the tray. You are gonna have the LED lighting surrounding here as well. Now, the cool thing about this one is you have an additional recessed area straight ahead right there, the tall baseboards and the tile flooring inside of the study. Now, if you wanted to use this, let's say for instance, if you're working from home quite often, which I find to be the case most times, especially now in 2025 with the remote work, this is going to be the space you want to take advantage of. Now, you have that picture window straight ahead right there, beautifully furnished, and the home, or at least this model, is for sale completely furnished. So that's something you want to take advantage of as soon as possible. But like I mentioned, as promised, I wanted to get you in here so that way you can see the full scope of the entire study. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful model home tour by Christopher Burton Luxury Homes. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular model. As mentioned earlier, this is for sale for $4.55 million at the time of this recording. So if you want to take advantage, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are located in Boca Raton, looking at this gorgeous model home by GL Homes. This one is located in the community of Lotus Edge, and I'm excited to bring to you this particular property. Now, starting on the exterior, you know, we got the beautiful stucco. You also have some wood accent tiling surrounding the property. Now, you are going to have some stone material, and that stacked stone is going to continue up the covered front porch towards that balcony, as you can see. Now, you are going to have a total of 4-car garages. So you have a 2-car garage right here to the left and an additional separate 2-car garage right here to the right. So the good thing is you have plenty of parking available. Now, I want to preface this by saying this is a model home, so you're going to see a lot of upgrades inside of here that you may or may not want. So if that is the case, of course, you are going to make changes to it. Now, as soon as you walk in, you have this large covered front porch, plenty of space available. Looks about 7 feet or so wide. So that'll just kind of give you a nice basis or reference point. Then you have the double front door with the glass panes, and then let's get you inside so you can be just as excited as me. All right. So immediately whenever you walk in, the beautiful foyer, you see you have the 20-foot ceilings entering inside of this foyer. Then you're going to have the glossy tile flooring. That's going to continue at least throughout the first floor, and it really just gives that luxurious appearance. Now, before we continue, let me go ahead and turn you around so that way you can see the front doors from the inside and get a better grasp. Now, you have these beautiful LED chandeliers hanging down that really just sets the tone as soon as you walk in. Now, right here to the right, it is locked, but that would be leading to your 2-car garage. And then let's go ahead and start over here so we can surround the perimeter and don't miss anything. So continuing right over here, this would be your additional 2-car garage. This is exactly what you would get as soon as you would enter. Just to kind of give you a nice reference point, of course, a lot of the times you're going to see this is, you know, used as storage, especially for model homes. All right, now this will be entering in. You got your furnace right here, so that'll just give you a reference point. Now you are going to have this powder bath with the wallpaper surrounding that. Beautiful pendant lights hanging down right here, and then the quartz countertops, the nice sleek sink right there, as well as this nice textured mirror. You see the surrounding mirror frame looks fantastic. First time I've seen that before. Now turn it around, you are gonna have the glossy floors that's gonna continue inside of the powder bath, and this is gonna be your first bedroom. So on the floor plan, this will be named the 5th bedroom because the primary suite is on the 2nd level. We'll certainly see that in just a moment. Now you got these beautiful pendant lights hanging down right where our nightstand is. You got a queen size bed, plenty of space available in here. Now you got a ton of walk room. You got one additional window. Now you are gonna have an ensuite and a separate closet right there. Let me do a full pan so you can get the full scope of this room. Now you will have 10-foot ceilings inside of here. Now let me know on your thoughts. Is 10 feet as far as the ceiling height, is that good for you? Would you change anything? Let me know. Now you do have wire racks inside of here. Of course, you can change that down the road. I already know the comments coming. But I just had to get you inside of here. Now, inside of your ensuite, you are gonna have the shower tub combo. You got the tiling shower surround, the black shower head, and then you got a shower niche right over here. Love to see that. Now, what's unique about this one is, look at this. So you got the quartz countertops, the custom cabinetry, and the chrome hardware, but you got the sconce inside of the mirror and a little ledge right here. Look at that. So it extends right above the toilet. All right, so let's go ahead and turn you around. Now we're gonna come right back out to the foyer. Now you have the white oak floors that's gonna continue up the staircase. Now right over here to the right, of course, is our formal dining room. Look at this. So the cool thing about this one is not only do you have this beautiful pendant lights hanging down right above our nice, luxurious dining room table with the granite countertops, but then you have the accent walls, and this at least comes with the sliders. Now it doesn't come with it, of course, not standard, but in this model home, you have the sliders leading out to your atrium. And I'll just give you a quick glimpse of that real quick. So a nice little private area where you can just kind of relax and hang out here and have your privacy. And then look at this, just one more glimpse of the entire formal dining. Beautiful. Okay, now leading right here, you are gonna have a designated wine closet right here. Now, if you didn't choose to have this, let's say wine closet, you would just go ahead and use this as a storage closet or something similar of that nature, but this just shows you what is possible. Okay, now heading into the family room, look how open and spacious this is. Again, the 10-foot ceilings extends here. You have this detailed ceiling, really neat, with the LED lights. Then heading straight over there, you see you got the wood accents, and then you also have the built-in shelving right over there. So a nice little touch that they added in here. And then of course this sleek cabinetry. Look at that. So you are gonna have the massive sliders in here, giving it that indoor-outdoor feel. But what I love about this one is this gives that extremely modern look. Now, some of my audience loves that modern, luxurious feel. Some folks love more that traditional feel. So it really just depends, but you can't deny that this is fantastic. All right. So now you got a massive oversized island right here. You got the sleek cabinetry, stacked cabinets on top. Then of course you got the Sub-Zero refrigerator and Wolf appliances. So they didn't go cheap on here, which I can appreciate. Now you got the two-tone quartz countertops. That quartz is going to continue up as far as a backsplash. And then you talk about outlets. Look at that. Ton of outlets available. But then also I love the space between the counters and the island. So you have a ton of room to go ahead and entertain and have folks in here. You got your stainless steel dishwasher right here, sink inside of the island, really sleek. And then this will just give you a better grasp of the entire layout. Okay, so what I'll go ahead and do is open up some of these cabinets for you so you can see how much storage you have available. Now, the cool thing about GL Homes is just in this location, there was, gosh, over 8 different models that I've seen, at least in this collection, that you can choose from, even more. So that's what's unique about this is you can come out here, get a feel for yourself. There's a couple other ones we may tour, but I really wanted to get you in this one so you can see for yourself. Now, as always, you know we have to open up the refrigerator. Again, Sub-Zero, top of the line. Wish I seen some Sprite or some you know, Perrier in there, but it's okay. Nice clean look. Now this one doesn't have that designated walk-in pantry, but you do have your cabinet pantry. So that'll have some additional storage, and that's going to continue up here, as you can see. And of course, some additional cabinetry right over here. So a ton of space available, really sleek, modern. Now, if you needed a walk-in pantry, there's another model for you that, you know, is pretty similar to this one that you could take advantage of. Okay, now heading right over here, you see our breakfast nook. Look at this, surrounded by the windows, bringing in an abundance of natural light. You got your pendant lights hanging down. They opted for the built-ins right here. Let me know in the comments what you think about the built-in shelving that continues here. And then let me stand on this angle and show you the full scope. All right. So far, I love what I'm seeing. Now, let me know if you're giving it a, you know, 8, 9, or 10. And then, of course, why you think that. Now, heading inside of here, this is going to be your den and game room over here to the left. We'll start right here in the game room so you can see. So perfect place, like I said, to entertain. You got your built-ins right there, really unique kind of bins right there. And then right between that, you got your floating shelving. So plenty of space available in here. Now you see they added this nice little section that kind of just sections it off from the den. Now inside of the den, you see you already have your built-in bar, so perfect for entertaining. Look, we got NFL hockey, all kinds of stuff right there. And then of course, if you are an NBA fan, like most of us, you can always have those on all 4 screens. But in here, looks like we got the granite countertops. Then you got the wine fridge, both of them Sub-Zero again, and you have additional sliders. So sliders in multiple areas. We've seen it heading out to the atrium, the family room, and then of course inside the den. And then as always, we'll go ahead and end the tour outside a little bit later on. Don't worry, I didn't say now. You can be like, what the heck? I got you. Now also, I should point out that nice little recessed area, perfect for some decor. Got the LED lights in there. Pretty perfect. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get you upstairs rather. So you see the white oak floors continues up here. The primary suite is going to be upstairs, so that'll just kind of give you a nice little reference. Now heading up here, this is the designated loft. You may have noticed we did have the game room downstairs, right? So you can use this as a game room or a loft, depending on what you choose to, but a great entertaining space with the white oak floors continuing along here and the additional sliders. Now, you're gonna have a quick access door from your primary suite leading to your second level balcony, which is gonna be neat. But before we continue, let me make sure you see this first and foremost. I'll get you outside, look at this. So you got the glass railings right here, separating the two, giving it that nice modern look. And then of course the view, look at that. Perfect view that you could take advantage of. And like I said, right over here, that quick access door leading to your primary suite. Okay, so plenty of space in here, a ton of room in the balcony. And remember, in the front facing exterior, there was some additional balconies. We'll get to that a little bit later on in just a second. But first and foremost, what I want to go ahead and do is get you to this primary suite. So heading over here, now you're going to have the separate primary bath, separate his and hers closets. Let's go ahead and show you this area. Look at this. Beautiful bedroom, tray ceilings with the surrounding perimeter. That's a king size bed, your 2 nightstands. You see you have plenty of windows, bringing in a ton of natural light. I love that. And then again, like I said, the little quick access door leading out there. Now you have plenty of room in here. Now let me know in the comments if you prefer the primary suite to be on the second level or the first level. Coming from Texas, it's very common to have the primary suite on the first level. And then, you know, as we started branching out of Texas, we started getting some comments about why in the world is the primary suite on the first floor, right? And I was like, hey, I thought that's extremely common, but apparently not. Now you got your his closets right here, plenty of space Now, you see they have the doors off the hinges because this is a model home, but I would love to add a pocket door right there. Gives it that discreet look. Love that. You got your built-in racks, your built-in cabinet doors with the glass panes again, plenty of storage, and of course right here, this will be for your dirty clothes. All right. Now heading in here, what I know you can appreciate too is the fact that we don't have wire racks inside of here. Love that, because I was getting a little worried for a second. So you got your built-ins, you got some stack cabinets right above that. Again, the same thing. Now it looks like, okay, that was the, I do apologize. That was a hers closet. This is his closet. I was getting ahead of myself. Now, last but not least, of course, is gonna be this primary suite inside of here. You see, you got your nice size freestanding tub right here, his and her sinks. You see the large soaker tub. You got your designated vanity area straight ahead over here. As you can see, glass enclosed shower right here. Look at this, family. Open this up. You got your shower niche right there. Shower head, the only thing that it is missing is the waterfall shower head. I'd love to see that in here, but other than that, fantastic, great color combination. Really that neutral colors that you're looking for, or a lot of folks are looking for rather. Then you see you have the LED mirrors, got some additional cabinetry right there for your towel closet. And of course over here, perfect space for the missus. And then right over here, you got your water closet. So plenty of space. And I know that you can certainly appreciate the fact that it is kind of separated right there. So you don't have to worry about, you know, having it intertwined or anything. You just have that designated bedroom and then your designated bathroom over here, of course. Now heading this way, I just want to make sure you see as we go around. And then this is a model home, so some folks are, you know, touring it as we speak. So of course I want to be courteous of them as well. So we'll see the balcony in just a second. This is going to be your third bedroom. Now you do have wire racks in here. We can replace those with some wooden racks down the road. You don't have to worry about that, but look at this Lego furniture in here. Perfect for the kiddos. My son would love this one right here. So again, plenty of space. That's a queen size bed. You got your nightstand over here, a lamp. You got your floating Lego shelves over there as well. And you know, this is the first time we've actually seen some model homes that are kind of more of a, let's say, kid friendly, with the kid friendly decor in here. So let me know what you think about that and if you love that. Now, you also are going to have carpet inside of here. I should mention that. Then this one is going to have a full ensuite. So that'll just kind of give you a reference for that. The shower tub combo. Again, that extended ledge we see with the quartz countertops, the sleek cabinetry, tile flooring inside of here. And then again, that sconce and the mirror that we got used to. Love that. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue to this. This is the fourth bedroom right here, just to kind of give you a reference. Look at the space that you got in here. Okay, so this one doesn't have the walk-in closet, but you are going to have the sliding doors. Perfect for the girlies. You got the floating shelves in here. Now, look at that queen size bed, the 2 nightstands, and you just have a ton of walk room available. Now, a lot of times when we see 5 bedrooms, right? A lot of times, especially depending on the square footage, it may feel a little bit more cramped, but I can certainly appreciate the fact that it's not cramped in here. And of course, you can rearrange the furniture however you choose and however you please down the road. Okay, now an additional ensuite here. So if I didn't mention, it's going to be 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. I put it in the beginning, but just for reference, that's why every single bedroom will have that attached bathroom, the shower tub combo here, the quartz countertops, that extended ledge. And again, the sconce inside the mirror. Okay, so this is so cool because look at this. This bedroom right here, next to the primary suite, is going to be the best, or at least the favorite, right? So beautiful bed. Look at this. Nice little floating bed that you have right there. Not to mention you got your sliders in here. heading out to your balcony. We'll go out there in just a second, but I want to make sure that you kind of see the room that you get in here. Now you got the shiplap as far as the accent wall is concerned. Now you are going to have a walk-in closet in here with the white oak floors. Now you might have seen that we had some carpet in, you know, I believe one or two of the other bedrooms, but I like that they extended the white oak floors. You know, me personally, just kind of get rid of the carpet and just kind of keep it with the white oak floors or maybe the tiling and stuff, but you know, to each his own, like I always say. Now you got your walk-in shower here. Again, that extended ledge, as you can see. I like to get out of the mirror so you can see the whole scope. And then let's see if this one's open right here. So an additional storage closet that you get access to right here. But let's go ahead and get you out here. Now, I love the size of this balcony. A lot of times you don't see this side, or at least this size rather, in the front. Let me open this up for you. Okay, so look at the size of this front-facing balcony right here. You got tile flooring inside of here, a ton of space available. I'm telling you, whoever gets this room will never move out, most likely. But you can see how much space you have available right here. I love what I'm seeing. Bravo, GL Homes. And like I said, you've probably seen a couple other homes. Every single home, at least right here right now, is a model home currently. So just to let you know. Okay. So we got to see that one. That was the fourth bedroom that we had the good fortune of seeing. Before we continue, let me make sure you see this one as well, just real quick. So you can see that stack stone continuing right here. Plenty of space available in this second one as well. So you don't have to worry about fighting over that balcony in that bedroom. You can have your own right there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Before we head over to that section, see the last bedroom, just show you this. And then one more glimpse of this loft. So a lot of times when we hear loft, right, you think of a little small section on the second level that's kind of maybe an afterthought or something similar to that. That's why I hesitate calling it a loft. I like to just call it maybe like a little game room or massive game room rather. Okay, so now here we go. Got your laundry room right here. Plenty of space for an oversized washer and dryer. You got cabinetry from wall to wall. An additional sink right here. Quartz countertops. Wallpaper backsplash, and some additional drawer space here. Now heading right across the hallway, you got your designated media area. Look at this. The kids would have a field day in here. Hence why you see some kiddos running around here. I definitely don't blame them. But plenty of space available in here. Look at this, that nice little Willy Wonka theme. Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I'll tell you, nothing can beat that Willy Wonka. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I like the remakes, don't get me wrong, but no one's going to get quite like the original. And so we'll see that powder bath in a second. Look at this. So you got a nice little storage pantry right above here. We did have one in the kitchen, so I know what you're thinking. Go ahead and add that downstairs and we can call it a day. So you got your powder bath, perfect positioning right here to take advantage. You got your loft, your media area, and then in a few steps, you're right there. You are good to go. Okay. Now, last but certainly not least, let's go ahead and take a look at our backyard area. So as of the time of this recording, so the model is not for sale. However, be on the lookout. One day it is. I don't know if it's going to be in a couple years. I don't know if it's going to be a few months. I'd have to get back to you on that, but just for your own personal reference. And all right, family, the sliding glass doors are locked for our safety, but just so you can see the backyard, you got your covered backyard patio right here, the pool and spa, and then of course out there you have the beautiful lake view. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful model home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful model home tour by GL Homes. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. If you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are located in Biscayne Park, Florida, looking at this gorgeous masterpiece for sale on the market as we speak. And I want to give a huge thank you to the listing agent, Zulu, with Coldwell Banker for allowing us to tour his beautiful listing and bringing it to the channel. I'll make sure to leave all of the information in the description below. Now, the first thing you may notice is that it is surrounded by nature. That's one thing that I really appreciate about this property. Now, as far as the materials are concerned, on the exterior, you're going to have the coral stone tiles as well as the stucco, and you may notice the wood ceilings. Now, there's going to be a carport right here being built at least in the next few months or so. So keep that in mind so you can take advantage of that. But as we speak, this one is on the market. Now, that's what's really cool and neat about this property is that you have some yard space in the front, and then you have a backyard retreat, which we'll get to later on in the tour. Now, as we continue, you see the coral continues in the covered front porch. Then you have this massive pivot door, 10 feet tall, as well as the glass panes. Look how beautiful this is. Great curb appeal, extremely hidden. So if it's one thing where you want some space between your neighbors and you just want some privacy, this is going to be the perfect property for you. Now, you're going to have clear story windows inside of this property. You'll really notice that as soon as we get in and look at the width of the pivot door. Love that. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue in and get you inside the foyer. Wow. Absolutely stunning. Immediately whenever you walk into the foyer, the first thing you may notice is the floating ceiling with the cove lights. Really beautiful details. So you're going to see the ceramic tile that's going to continue throughout this property. It's really remarkable, to be quite honest with you. Now I'm going to turn you around so you can see the front door from the inside. You see we have this pebble stone detail right here. Really neat. Just kind of sets the tone as soon as you walk in this masterpiece of a home. Now, before we continue to the common areas, we're going to get you inside of this powder bath. So the cool thing about this one, you have 16-foot ceilings. Then you have that clear story window bringing in that natural light. They already got the mirror inside of there. So a nice little detail with the accent lighting surrounding that. Smart toilet. I should mention that this home is fully automated and you have control 4. So I know you can certainly appreciate that. And of course, right here, you're going to have your furnace. But what I really want you to appreciate, look at that, even just down to the details right there. So the walls are micro cement, so it really gives that nice texture. And then the color palette in here is just off the charts. Okay, so now let's go ahead and continue inside of the kitchen. So I love this floor plan. It's very interactive. They've done a fantastic job of this entire layout. So whenever you walk in here, you have the 10-foot slider, so giving you that indoor-outdoor feel that a lot of folks are looking for. Now you have the floor-to-ceiling windows, and that's going to surround as well. So you see these, at least the nature being surrounded by this entire home. Okay, so let's talk about some of the detail inside of the kitchen. So you have Italian porcelain tiling. That's gonna continue up the backsplash right there. Now, what's really neat about this is look at this. So you have the flat panel custom cabinet doors inside of here. Look how neat that is. Really just gives that sleek minimalist feel. You also got that pot filler right there. So before I continue, let me open up some of these cabinet doors for you so that way you can get a better grasp. Look at that. Automated lighting right there. If you want to just slide these in, you can certainly do that. Look at that. To give it more of that minimalist feel. Again, I'll leave that there. Wow, absolutely stunning. Now let's go ahead and continue down here. You have a ton of counter space and the oversized island. You notice the flat panel continues throughout here. You have the paneled refrigerator and freezer. You got your sink inside of the island. The length of this is just impeccable. Plenty of space to entertain and just have a great time with the entire family. And then of course, I'll open up some of these drawers for you so you get a better grasp of this as well. Everything is soft closing, high-end appliances. You have the Wolf range right here. This is the 5-burner. Again, we got our pot filler. Love that. So you got some shelving available right here. Very sleek, very modern. And then, of course, as many outlets as you need for your appliances. Now just look at this. Sometimes I just gotta silence myself so you can really take this in. Beautiful. Okay, so you are gonna have the Wolf microwave built in, very sleek, and it's flushed as well. Then of course your Wolf oven right down there. And then again, your paneled refrigerator in here. Okay, so I wanna just do a full pan from this angle so you can see the entire scope of this. We'll head over there to the left in just a moment. Now you see the micro cement walls continues. You have the floating ceiling again, and then look at that. The clear story windows surrounds the entire perimeter, bringing in natural light from all angles that you can work with. Now you have your Sub-Zero wine fridge, holds up to 120 bottles. Then you have some additional storage right here. So you just push on that cabinet door right there, and there you go. And then also I should mention that this is frameless. So you see there's no frame, so very sleek. The hinges attaches to inside the cabinet itself. So that's gonna be more of like the cabinet storage or for your pantry items, maybe your canned goods or anything like that. Now look at this. You have your open concept dining area. The 16-foot ceilings extends inside of here. Again, the 10-foot sliders. So you open that from both angles and you can take advantage of the outdoor living. Then you have some additional custom millwork that continues over here. You have a designated dry bar straight ahead right there. So nice little touch. And then again, the floor to ceiling windows. So really just overall, a great layout itself. This is where most folks are gonna spend, 70 to 80% of their time, especially the guests. So when you think about it from an entertaining standpoint, this is perfect. With a large layout like this, coupled with the high ceilings, bravo, bravo. Okay, so continuing this way, this is actually what they call or refer to as the nanny quarters. So we'll see that in just a second. Right here to the left, you're gonna have your quick access door to a side porch that you can use pretty often. Then you're gonna have your utility room. Look at this. I'm gonna pan you upwards. Look at that. Again, an additional clear story window, the flat panel cabinetry inside. You have the counter right above our washer and dryers. You see that it's brand spanking new. You got your sink inside of here, and then some additional cabinetry right here. So the ceramic tile is going to extend in here. So I'm just loving The color palette in here, the neutral colors, the minimalist feel, wonderful. Now, this is your first bedroom here, 16-foot ceilings, clear story windows, right? You have that additional window right above that. Just for reference purposes, when we first entered, or at least started the tour, you remember it had the coral on the exterior. That's gonna be where this room is. So you're gonna have your private ensuite. Got a nice size walk-in closet. Go ahead and add the wooden racks in here down the road, or chrome racks, depending on your personal preference. And then look at that. The ceiling height even continues inside of our ensuite, family. Wow. Glass enclosed walk-in shower. You got your waterfall shower head, sleek drain right down there. Beautiful vanity. And then the LED lighting right behind our mirror. All right, so family, let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about this particular plan. Is this something you could see yourself living in? I love to hear your thoughts. Really means a lot to me. Okay, so we saw this wing of the house. Now let's go ahead and make our way over here. Now you may be able to see it a little bit if you see through those windows, but that's gonna be our primary suite right over there across. We'll get to that towards the end, but let's go ahead and make sure we see every bedroom first and foremost. So this is going to be decorated as a study, which of course you can utilize this as a study if you wanted to or chose to, but this is going to be an additional bedroom. You got the raised ceilings in here, you have sliders, ceramic tile, and then again that quick access door right here to your covered front porch. So you have the beautiful sleek vents in here, walk-in closet straight ahead, the private full bathroom or private ensuite. So in here, we already have our built-in shelving in our drawers. I love that. Soft closing again, ceramic tile continuing in here. Plenty of space available. And look at this. Beautiful. They've just done a fantastic job. You see they've taken some foreign elements and incorporated those inside of a modern home right here in Florida. So some of these details inside of here may be foreign to you. You might be wondering why opt for certain finishes and certain plans. But a lot of these elements are going to come from, the European aspects. Okay, now the one thing I love about this hallway is, of course, these oversized picture windows, right? Just get a load of that backyard. Can you imagine waking up to this every single day? Like I said, extremely private, automation, love that. Okay. So now look at the size of this. It's good that we have your nice bedroom set in here just to kind of get a good grasp of the dimensions inside of here. You have the sliders, clear story windows again, floating ceiling detail. That's a queen size bed, your 2 nightstands. Comfortably, a king will fit in here without any issue whatsoever. Of course, if you wanted to add that dresser right here, you can do that. And then your built-in shelving that we see. And it's so interesting because I've spent some time in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I was telling Zulu, the listing agent, how the walls in here are really common out there in New Mexico. And, we were chatting about that, so I knew that this was extremely familiar, and they love that over there. So any folks that are watching from New Mexico or maybe even Arizona can certainly appreciate that. Okay, so don't worry, I didn't miss this one right here. This is, of course, gonna be your furnace right here. So I already knew the comments were coming, so Wanted to make sure you saw inside of there. And then even look at that nice oversized picture window. So windows from all angles, which of course was intentional. All right. So very similar size as the one we just had seen. King bedroom set would fit in here without any issues whatsoever. Love the space, the raised ceilings, the floating ceiling detail again. You have your built-ins right here. Look at this. So depending on what you choose to use the nanny quarters for, you might be wondering why there was no built-ins at that time. So maybe you wanted to use that as your own private office, right? You can do that, or a children's retreat. The possibilities are certainly endless. Okay, beautiful custom cabinetry right here. And then you got the quartz counters, a nice sleek mirror. And then I always love how we talked about that oversized shower niche. And then again, that sleek drain right there. And waterfall shower head. Beautiful. So in combination with the black outlet covers, the black hardware as far as the knobs are concerned, and then even just with the color combinations, great job. Okay, so there's gonna be a quick access door right over here to the right? And this is gonna be a full bathroom, so you can use this as a pool bath where you hop out of the pool, and that is a saltwater pool. You could just, access in here, dry off, rinse off, and you are good to go. So very similar in nature. And I always like to open up some of these shower doors just so we can just get a better feel of the shower surround and just some of the hardware inside of there. So to the right is our primary suite. Got an additional storage closet here. And look at this. So every single bedroom had access to the front yard that we've seen on this wall. Got that nice oversized window again, plenty of room, plenty of space. And then you already have the outlets right above so you can hang that television, let's say nice 75-inch TV, right? It's funny because a lot of times that 32-inch TV used to do the job, but nowadays, I don't think folks are buying anything less than a 50. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below if I am. All right, so every single ensuite has been uniform. There's continuity just to give it that sleek feel as you're walking in every single bedroom. All right, so you'll come out here and then, of course, the grand reveal of our primary suite. So you have this door right here. You'll close that off, have your little sanctuary. Before we continue, you have an additional storage closet right here. I imagine that most of your luggage is gonna go in there, things that you don't need until you go on vacation. But look at that. Wow, beautiful. This just sets the tone, really gives it that luxurious feel. And look at that. Nice tall window overlooking your backyard retreat. You see our sliders again, and look at the space in here. Wow, custom millwork. Again, you got this nice floating mantle right here. That's gonna wrap around this entire wall right here. I love that. That's a king size bed, your 2 nightstands, plenty of space, plenty of room, and I'm all for it. Just an overall outstanding job, curated materials, interior designer did a fantastic job. Wow. All right, so now you come in over here to your primary suite or your primary bath. Look at that. Beautiful, sleek, minimal, all the above. Now, you got your wet room right over there. That's going to be the 0 threshold that you can take advantage of. You are going to have a his and hers closet in here, which I know you can appreciate, and it's spacious. So we'll see that in just a second. It's right behind me. Again, the micro cement continues this way. You got your water closet with your smart toilet right there. But let's get you inside of here. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. You got your freestanding tub, sleek drain right there, rain shower head right above that, and it's dual. Love that. You can't get much better than this, I'm telling you. Shower niche right over there, plenty of space. Look at this. This is a room in itself. We close that off, and look at this. So if you and your partner are taking a shower together, y'all maybe having some great conversations, but the good thing is you got your own shower niches, your own shower wand, your own shower head. Really, I don't think you can get much better than that, family. I really don't. Okay, so now you see our his and hers closets. So this will be the his right here. You see the LED strips illuminating this entire closet itself. You got your soft closing drawers. You got your racks already built in, and that is going to continue, of course, on this side. Ceramic tile flooring again, so that's been throughout this entire house. And I know it just really stands out. Now here is the hers closet. So plenty of space available, built-in drawers on both sides, some additional storage right above that. And then of course you can always add the rack down the road if you needed to, but depending if you choose to just store additional items that maybe don't need that, that certainly is possible. All right, family. If you haven't let me know in the comments yet, I encourage you to do so. Let me know what you think. Just give me some feedback, because I always take a look at that, and it really just sets the tone for the next property tours and helps me bring better homes for you, or to you rather. Now the 16-foot ceilings, that's going to continue down that hallway right over there. But let's get you outside here. So you see, you can open up this entire sliders right there, right? You can continue to open those up. Look at your outdoor living. You already got your built-in grill. And I always say this all the time, family. And I'm gonna, I usually preface this, but since this is a house for sale, it's not a model home where it's not for sale or it needs a lease back. You can move in as soon as you close, one. But number two is, what you see is what you get. So everything you see out here, this can be yours for the price tag. And I always leave the price in the title and the description, because sometimes prices change and I don't want it to be, let's say, obsolete, a month from now or 2 months from now. So always check the description. But look at this. Beautiful, stunning. You have the turf out here. You already got your chairs out here. You can tan, have a good time. You can see the privacy windows right there. Look at that. So it has a nice little tent there, so increased privacy. Again, the wood ceilings continues out here. You have dual ceiling fans, plenty of space, giving you that airy feel. And then an additional sink, plenty of space. So not only did you have a ton of space in the front yard, but you have space in the backyard as well. And other than that, family, that was another beautiful property tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful property tour right here in Biscayne Park, Florida. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular home. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we find ourselves in Delray Beach, Florida, looking at another gorgeous luxury home for sale. And I want to give a huge thank you to the listing agent, John Hackett, for allowing us to tour his beautiful listing and bringing it to the channel. I'll make sure to leave all of his information, including the developers, in the description below. Now, starting on the exterior, we have that sleek, modern look. You do have a balcony on the front-facing exterior, and then you'll see additional ones towards the back. Now, this is going to be a two-car garage. You do have the stucco finishes surrounding the property and the nice modern front porch. Look how grand this is. Of course, you see the windows extending upwards to the second level, and you're going to see that when we walk in to the grand foyer. Now, we also have these modern light fixtures on the exterior of the property, and of course, the abundance of natural light that enters inside of this home is absolutely apparent even from the exterior. Now, I'll give you a quick glimpse of the front. You see these stucco wrap columns as soon as you walk in. And let's go ahead and get you inside of this beautiful property. So immediately whenever you walk in, you see the grand two-story foyer, as well as the gorgeous pendant lights hanging down. Now you see that this is going to be, of course, the floating staircase. And then as I turn you around, you're going to be able to get the better glimpse of the windows surrounding this. So I love the abundance of natural light that enters in. Then you see the glass panes that's going to continue up the staircase. And then I love how it's extremely open, so it gives that grand foyer look. Now you are also going to notice the floating ceilings above right there, so adding some more details and character. And then we'll continue around so that way you can see the common area. So before we head this way, of course, you got the hallway. Then you got a full bathroom right here. You have the side access door with the frosted privacy glass. Love the custom cabinetry. You're going to notice that throughout the entire property. You do have the gorgeous pendant lights, the oversized circle mirror, floating vanity, and the sleek drain. Look at that. Now, as mentioned before, that this one is for sale right now as we speak. So I left all the information in the title and the description if you are interested. So now you got your full bath, of course. You got the honeycomb tilings right down there. You can see that. Then, of course, the frosted privacy glass extends in here. Then you have the modern shower head and shower wand. And then this one is, of course, glass enclosed. But I love the amount of space that you have inside of here. And then, of course, the custom door. Love that. So straight ahead, we're gonna make our way around. I want you to see the common area so that way you can really get a full glimpse. What we'll do first and foremost is start inside of the kitchen. So the first thing you will notice is the oversized island right there. You do have a small extension right here, and that's gonna match the cabinetry. Then, of course, the sleek cabinets continues right above our range hood. You have the quartz countertops that's gonna extend up our backsplash as well. Then, of course, the Wolf appliances. I know we talk about that quite often. Always love when we see high-end appliances that continues in here. Now you see we got the Wolf stovetop. Now this is gonna have a 6-burner and a griddle and continuing in there. Then additional counter space. And then of course, the island or the sink inside of the island. Now this is the epitome of the open concept. We talk about that quite often. Then you got the pendant lights hanging down right above our island, of course. And then I'll make sure I open up some of these drawers for you so you can see how much space you're working with. Now, of course, the distance between the island and the additional counter space. So if you have multiple family members in here, maybe friends hanging out and cooking with you, you don't have to worry about them being in the way. Now you got your Bosch dishwasher. You see that is the paneled dishwasher. And then of course, the paneled refrigerator as well. So it just gives that sleek appearance and really modern, extremely luxurious at the same time. Now, even the Wolf continuing over there, you have an additional coffee station that you can take advantage of. And of course, opening the refrigerator up. That way you can see how much space we have available. Now, what I want to go ahead and do is continue and show you the flex room, the great room, and the open concept dining area. So look at the space. You have the tall baseboards in here, tile flooring extending in here. Of course, you have the sliders inside of the great room. Love that. So every single detail in here has been meticulously, hand selected and picked for that 2025 modern look. And really, I'd say it's extremely timeless. Now, continuing over this way, you see that you have the open wet bar right here. You have an additional bar area here, waterfall countertops, and you got the wine fridge right there. I'd say, it's sub-zero right there, so you can easily fit approximately 80 to 120 bottles in there without any issues whatsoever. Then, of course, the sleek pendant lights right above that. And then, of course, some additional shelving available. Now, look at this. You have all the cabinet storage that you need inside of here. Plenty of drawer space. So if you wanted to go ahead and store some additional wine bottles, you have the cubby space over here as well. And then an additional sink. And of course, look how sleek and modern that looks. Now, I love that they added the LED lighting right underneath the shelf. Gives it that beautiful appearance. Okay, so now hanging out from the bar area, you can clearly see how much space you still have available. So if you have, let's say, 8 people inside of your kitchen, an additional 10 folks inside of the dining area, and then maybe even 8 to 10 folks inside of the great room, you can see that this really comfortably fits that. Now you have the tray ceilings. That design is actually going to continue from the great room all the way to the dining area. And then you see it's surrounded by that wood perimeter. Really looks nice. Now you got the grids inside of the slider, so it gives it that nice, elegant foreign look. And of course, the slider's already open, so you might as well take a look at the backyard right here before we continue. So you already got your built-in grill. And like I said, the difference between this one and model homes is that everything that you see is what you get. So you don't have to worry about, is this an upgrade, that an upgrade? Is this something that's gonna be included in my house? How much extra am I gonna have to pay for this feature? And is it worth it? What you see is what you get, and that's the beauty of seeing a home that's actually for sale. Now you have that side yard. Of course, you got the pool and spa ready to go. And then of course the landscaping, they just added these trees inside and outside. So you might have noticed that as well. Now you do have this floating decor right here with the custom cabinetry. And then you have the wood accents extending all the way to the ceiling. So let me give you one more full pan. We'll take a look at the flex room and then make our way to the second level. Now you can obviously see that we have a ton of windows. So you have the windows over there, the sliders over here, and on the other side of the wall. Now heading into our flex room. So you have the double sliding pocket doors right here, as you can see. Perfect location. Then you have the coffered ceiling, gorgeous chandelier hanging down. Look how open and spacious this is. So you may notice straight ahead, you have some additional sliders. You can access the backyard from there as well. Now you see this massive couch that just gives you an idea how much space is actually in this flex room. Really nice color combination in here. Done a great job of the neutral colors and just giving it that modern, sleek look. Now, of course, I want to go on this end so you can see the amount of space that you get. And then, of course, the curated furniture does a fantastic job as well. Okay, so don't worry, we didn't forget about anything. I'm going to continue this way. I'm going to let you see the pantry. This one's going to be an open pantry. You have a dual entry. Then you do have the pocket door separating this too. So let me go ahead and close that, and so that way you can see how sleek that looks. And before we continue, this is a storage cabinet. Everything's soft closing, so you don't have to worry about that. Now continue over here. You have an additional bar. Look at that, with the quartz countertops. The custom cabinetry continues. Now you do have the chrome hardware. So right down here, you're probably just gonna put your spices and things like that. And before we continue, I'll just make sure you can see. So this would be for your additional refrigerator. So you'll have that one here. If you wanted to extend some things in here, you can certainly do that. And then I'll just turn you around. So everything is extremely sleek. So you don't have the open shelving, but in fact, you have the closed shelving. So it just gives it that sleek, modern look. And that's going to extend over here as well. And then you may notice that the stack cabinets continues that way. Now continuing right here, like I said, it's dual entry. So you do have a second pocket door here, and this would be your open mud area. So you already got your quartz bench right there. You already got your chrome racks as well. Additional cabinetry right above that, and the accent lighting. So that's illuminating this entire bench here. Then heading out here, this is gonna be your 2-car garage, and you may not have seen it, but you also have some additional parking in the front. So I didn't get a chance to show you that too much, but you do have access right there so you can fit an additional couple cars in there with no issues whatsoever. Now this would head right back out to our grand foyer. I'll pan one more time up there. Of course, we're gonna go up this staircase, let you see that primary suite that I know you're excited to see. So you do have the white oak flooring that's gonna continue up here. You'll notice that it's gonna start around the staircase, and that's gonna continue right here. Now, heading over here to the right, you see you have this open loft area. Then of course, you have the glass railing, so that's gonna overlook straight ahead right there. Love what we're seeing. And then that'll give you a better close-up of the floating ceiling. You can add some cove lighting down the road. I don't believe there is cove lighting, but easily accessible. Now, there is an elevator here. So this is gonna be your elevator. It is only 2 floors, but you may never know when you would need that. Now, continuing over here, this is gonna be our primary suite. Before we head to the primary bath, let me make sure you see the full bedroom first and foremost. You got a wet bar over here, quartz countertops. You got the white cabinetry with the chrome hardware. And look at this. Love what I'm seeing. So you see you have the tray ceilings with the cove lighting, LED lights as well. That's a king size bed, your 2 nightstands. The white oak floors continues here. And look at this. Love what I'm seeing. So you are going to have the his and hers closets. We'll get to that in a second. You see we have the dresser. You have a designated little sitting area right here, and you can take advantage of that whenever you choose. Let me get you inside of the first closet right here. Now that's going to extend over here. You already got your built-in shoe rack right there, as well as a dresser. You got your mirror, some additional cabinetry. So you get to take advantage of that. And also too, I should mention that this is one of those situations where if you purchase, you can actually move in right away. And you might be wondering, well, of course I bought the home, right? Well, a lot of times when we're, at least the homes that we've been showcasing on the channel, a lot of them were asking for lease backs, right? Maybe a year or 2. So once you purchase, of course, they're gonna pay you on a monthly basis, put down a deposit, make sure everything's squared away. But you would have to wait, you know, a certain duration depending on what the agreed upon terms were. And then that was always kind of the negative side of it. But in this instance, you can move in as soon as you purchase. All right, so of course, let's get you out here so you can see your view. Now you have a ton of space and a ton of room out here. You have an additional balcony. We'll get to that in a second, but look how much space you have for all of your patio equipment just to hang out here, have a nice morning coffee. You can do that every day as well if you choose to. And of course, overlooking right there. Okay, let's move it along, get you inside of that primary bath first and foremost. But I love the size of this. And of course, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this home so far. Head down this hallway and look at this. So you got the nice tall windows right there, beautiful chrome sconces. You got 3 separate mirrors in here, quartz countertops, the sleek cabinetry, and then of course the chrome that complements that. Now I think you are going to appreciate this. Look at this. Oftentimes whenever we see the freestanding tubs, you don't see the designated niche right there, but then you have the accent lighting, quartz backsplash, and then of course the wood accent wall that's going to extend all the way to the ceiling and all the way over there. Beautiful. And now that's what I'm talking about. Absolutely stunning. This is more of that ceramic tile. It's like that wood-like tile. So you don't have to worry about that, you know, water and wood. It's not a good combination. So it's more of that tiling, but it gives that wood-like appearance. But we do have a shelf or a bench in here. I love that. Then you got the chrome shower head as well as the wand. And then you got an additional waterfall shower head. And then you see you got the cove lighting up there, more of that like floating ceiling accent right above that. And I love this, the sleek drain that you get down there. That is exactly what I like to see. Then of course, like I said, you have that additional window right there. And this is gonna be your water closet. So natural light is hitting from all angles. And I know you can appreciate that, because so can I. All right, so let's go ahead and go right across the hall. This is gonna be our additional bedroom right here. You see that we have the tray ceilings. Now, you may remember we did have the balcony on the front facing exterior, so that's gonna lead out there. You have your separate walk-in closet, and you're gonna have an ensuite. We'll see that in just a second. So you got your chrome racks, your wooden shelving, as well as your dresser, and then the white oak floors extends in there. That's a queen size bed, your 2 nightstands, and of course your dresser, and you still have the walk room. That's how I always judge some of these rooms, making sure we still have additional walk room without compromising any space. So I'll get you out here real quick, so that way you can kind of just see. So there's a lot of new development happening right now. As you can see, you got a brand new home a few months away from being completed over there. And here's our ensuite. So same shower head that we saw with the additional shower one, and you got the oversized shower niche. Same drain, as you can see right there. Love this. So everything has been extremely sleek as we continue through the entire floor plan. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And it looks like we have zero carpet inside of this home, which I know you can appreciate again. Now we're gonna walk down this hallway right here, see the additional bedrooms. So here we go. Now, believe it or not, that's actually a king size bed and then the 2 nightstands, and you still have plenty of room available. Let me get you on this side before we take a look at the closet and ensuite. So they opted as well to choose the same custom cabinetry that we saw downstairs as well. That's going to be right here where our sliding doors are. Now, not quite a walk-in closet, but plenty of space. You see, you already got your built-in shelving and your drawers available right there. And then, of course, you can access that on the other side. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our ensuite. Now, let me know if I'm going too fast for you, or if this is a perfect speed. I mean, you know, you could always put it on like maybe 0.5 if you choose, but you got your chrome sconce right above that. Nice custom little mantle deal right there. First I've seen that. Then you got the nice quartz countertops. It looks like Cambria quartz. And then your walk-in shower. Look at that. Then you got the stone shower floor, as you can see right there. I always like that design. But then you have the accent wall, custom drawers. Man. So straight across from here, you're going to have the laundry room, aka the utility room. Now, you know, I always talk about that. The countertops right above our washer and dryer hookup. Love that. You got an additional sink. You see that. And of course, some additional cabinetry and shelving. Now, last but not least, we're going to have an additional private bedroom. This one's cool. You go down this long hallway right here. You are going to have your designated bathroom and closet. So whoever gets this one next to the primary suite, there's going to be some fussing and fighting on who gets this one. But you got your tray ceilings. Again, king size bed here. You see how much room you have in here. Almost looks like a second primary suite. You got your own private balcony over here with some additional sliders. We'll see that in just a second. Look at this. Love that. Then you got these stucco wrap columns again over here. Let me do one more pan. So of course you already got your drapes ready to go, but if you open these up, plenty of light inserts inside of this room. And just to kind of give you an idea of the proximity, you see right over there. Okay, let's head down this hallway. This is going to be our private bathroom right here. Quartz countertops again. You have that additional mantle again right here. So Some additional storage that you can access. Although I certainly recommend to just kind of keep it clean and have a nice sleek look, but to each his own, like I always say. Beautiful shower surround. Turn around one more second, that way you can get a better glimpse. Perfect. And last but not least, our walk-in closet. And that was another beautiful luxury home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful luxury home tour. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. Is this something you can see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we find ourselves in Delray Beach, Florida, looking at this gorgeous luxury home for sale. And I want to give a huge thank you to the listing agent, Fran Hall Finch with Sirhan, for allowing us to take a tour of her beautiful listing and bringing it to the channel. I think this one may knock your socks off. Now, starting on the exterior, the first thing I love is the length. Wonderful stucco on the exterior. You're gonna have a 3-car garage right over there to the right. Beautiful 2nd-story balcony on the front-facing exterior and the massive covered front porch. Now, as we enter, the first thing you are noticing is the beautiful landscaping and great curb appeal. Now, you see this home is equipped with an abundance of windows right here, bringing in all of that natural light that you really want inside of a luxury home. Now, whenever you enter in here, you're going to have the 12-foot ceilings. You have some ceramic wood-like detail on the exterior as well, and that's going to continue on the floor inside of our covered front porch. Look how gorgeous this is. I appreciate the fact that they even staged the porch, so it just gives you a better idea of this layout. Now, you are going to have these massive windows, even going inside right here. So you're going to have the front door with the iron exterior and the glass pane in the front. But let's get you inside so you can see this beauty. All right. So immediately whenever you walk into the foyer, look at this beautiful sitting area right here. So this just gives you a grasp of how much room you have in the foyer. So you're going to have 12-foot ceilings inside of here. And then as you walk straight inside of the great room, you're going to have 25-foot ceilings. Beautiful, tall picture windows, bringing in a ton of natural light, again, even inside of the interior. Now, you have the great room kitchen combination, but I just want to give you a quick glimpse, but we're going to make our way around the perimeter of the property so we don't miss a thing. So right here, immediately when you walk in to the left, you are going to have, this is a bedroom, but they have it staged as a study. You are going to have 12-foot ceilings inside of here. You see the beautiful windows right there. Look at that. So the desk in the sitting area just gives you a grasp of how much room is in here. You're going to have all natural wood, and that's exciting. Look how much space you have in here. The tall ceilings just gives it the roomy and spacious feel. So really, the one thing that's come into my mind is abundance. All right. So inside of here, this is of course your closet. If you use this as a study, depending if you work from home, then really you can just use that maybe for a filing cabinet, a shredder, something of that nature, but you can always add the racks if you choose to use this as a bedroom. Now this one is gonna have an ensuite. One thing I can appreciate about this is not only you have your walk-in shower, but they equipped it with the shower bench. You got your shower niche again, a picture window right there. And then as I turn you around, you see the length of the mirror. You got your sconces right over here, a beautiful vanity with custom cabinetry and quartz countertops. Look how stunning that is. Really great curated materials in here. And then of course the curated furniture just enhances the appeal. So right over here, you're gonna have your furnace, but let's make our way to the main areas. Wow. So you have your 10-foot sliders here. Look at that indoor-outdoor feel. What a wonderful feel inside of this home. Now, I'm gonna pan you all the way up. Love the tray ceilings with the exposed beams, adding a ton of character, a timeless feel. Then you have your beautiful chandelier again, and just look how roomy and spacious this is. Love what I'm seeing so far. You see these large windows again, and just look at the room that you have in this. So a really interactive floor plan, really cozy feel, and just extremely elegant. So coming over here, this is of course going to be your powder bath. The cool thing about this one is you have a quick access door to your outdoor living. So most folks that are just being entertained, they just come straight into that door right there. Beautiful accent wall, floor to ceiling. Look at the sconce inside the mirror. Beautiful chandelier right above our toilet. That just screams luxury. Beautiful. Okay, so over here, they have it situated as an exercise room, but this is a flex room. So if you were to use that first bedroom as an actual bedroom, then you go ahead and use this as a study. If you plan to use that one as a study, then this is a perfect yoga room. You could use it as a prayer room, children's retreat. Possibilities are endless. And the raised ceilings extends in here. And then also I should point out beautiful baseboards with the molding inside, or the little recessed area indentation, just adding that timeless look. Now, from here, you can get a better look of the foyer. Look at the floor to ceiling windows. Oh my goodness. What a fantastic job they've done. Okay, so heading inside of the kitchen, you have the dual islands inside of here. Beautiful cabinetry. Look at that. So you got the shaker cabinets, stack cabinets on top again, Wolf appliances, Sub-Zero fridge, Miele dishwasher. You also have an additional dishwasher, and that one's gonna be Cove. So all high-end appliances. And then as I pan you around here, you got the paneled refrigerator. I'll show you that in just a second. Your prep island over here to the left, your primary island as well, and then the additional sink overlooking the backyard. So we always had, comments or talks about the sink inside of the island, right? Well, now you get the best of both worlds, that sink over there. So if you're prepping things, use this one. If you're washing dishes, you can certainly use that one. Look how open and beautiful this floor plan is. You got the double Wolf oven right over here. Then you got a 6-burner Wolf gas cooktop right here with the griddle. Beautiful custom range hood right above that. Look at that. Plenty of storage. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But look at this. Here you go with your Sub-Zero refrigerator. You can see how much storage and space that you have in there. Now look at this. As you open this up, you got your hidden walk-in pantry. Now, they're still doing some final touches on this one. In fact, they're still in the process of doing that now, but this is currently for sale as we speak. So you can go under contract and then of course, purchase this property and close within, 21 days, 30 days, depending on your personal time frame. Okay, now, the one thing I love about this home is this formal dining area. Look how spacious this is. You have an 8-seater dining table, and look how much space and walk room you still have available. Now you got the exposed beams running parallel with one another and the tray ceilings. You got 3 windows right over here, bringing in some more natural light. The tall baseboards even extends in here. And look at this. So really what they call that multi-generational living. This is certainly apparent inside of this home. Now I love that. Also, I should mention right here, you have a wine fridge built in to your island right there. Goodness gracious. Now, as we take a right over here, beautiful sconces, just setting the tone. Right here to the right is going to be your 3-car garage. You will have the epoxy flooring, but you still have that roomier feel in here. So depending on the size of your vehicles, you possibly could add additional cars inside of there. Okay, so the natural wood continues over here. Then you got an additional area right here. Now this will be coming into your utility room right here. Look how much space you have in here. Plenty of space for an oversized washer and dryer. You got your quartz countertops. You got your flat panel cabinetry inside of here. And then of course the additional sink. So beautiful interior, beautiful furniture, and just the details speak for themselves. Okay, so this will be heading over to your primary retreat. We'll see that in just a second. The one thing I love about the primary retreat is that you have your own private sliders inside of here. So the wood flooring continues in here. You don't have to worry about any carpet whatsoever. Zero carpet. You got your furnace again right there. But before we take a look at the additional rooms, let me show you this. Wow. Not to mention, it's a fantastic day to do a property tour. 12-foot ceilings, then you got the tray again, 10-foot sliders. So you can open this up any time of the day, dusk or dawn, or anywhere in between. That's a king-size bed, your 2 nightstands, your dresser. Just a fantastic layout. Now, the furniture is negotiable, right? And I always put the price of the home inside of the title and the description. And a lot of times I don't mention it in the video because obviously things change all the time. So I want to just be as transparent as I can with my audience. Now, look at this. So you got your wet room straight ahead. You got 0 threshold, quartz countertops in here, his and her sink. Then you got a designated cosmetic area over there. Look at that, and you already have your built-ins. So if you wanted to close the cabinet doors right there, you can just have that sleek look, but you know that that would be your dedicated area. I'll pan you up, beautiful light fixtures, your sconces inside the mirror, towel closet right there. Nice freestanding tub, look at this. Woo! If this doesn't scream luxury, I really do not know what does. Maybe you can educate me, but you got your dual shower heads in here, dual shower wands, 2 shower benches. Again, plenty of space to work with in here. Then of course your shower niches on both sides. I'm gonna show you this right here. Beautiful tile work. Just overall, a really great home. You got your smart toilet over there where your water closet is. You're gonna have the his and hers closets. Like I said, there are, you can add the racks in here, your built-ins, depending on what you choose to do. But that's the difference between a home like this for sale and a model home, is that what you see, you can customize it before you close, or you can just go ahead and take it as is. But really, I want you to pay attention to the size of the closets itself. Look how roomy it is. The natural wood extends in here, excuse me. Look at that. So plenty of space in both the closets, so you don't have to worry about one being, you know, a tad bit larger or something where it's not practical. Both of those are certainly practical. Okay. Then I should mention, before we head to the second level, look at the beautiful exposed beams in here. Really gives that architectural feel that you're really looking for. And quite frankly, that's the one of a kind, or I've never seen that whatsoever. And then of course that was intentional as well. Something that is timeless. All right, so you got your beautiful Sconces right here. Look at this gorgeous light fixtures. Fantastic. The 25-foot ceilings continues up here, so it really gives more of that roomier feel. Then on the second level, you're gonna have 10-foot ceilings, at least in the rooms itself. But look at that, beautiful large picture windows. Again, you saw in the front that we did have the front facing balcony. Now you have a nice large iron door out here. It is locked, but I'll just show you the room that you get out here. Now, I also want to mention to you, you have private access to Lake Ida. You got your own private dock right there that you share. There's 4 slots that you can take advantage of. And it's only, gosh, 50 feet, 50 to 75 feet. So close proximity, you can just get out there, ride some jet skis, have a good time, some fun in the sun. Now here, we're gonna have our shower tub combo, ceramic wood-like tile shower surround. Very elegant. That's going to go or continue all the way to the ceiling. Beautiful sconces, your flat panel cabinetry with your quartz countertops, and that natural wood extends up here. Love that. Okay, now heading to our third bedroom. Look how spacious this is. So you're going to have 2 bedrooms down, 3 up. You got your sliding door heading into your closet. But look how roomy this is. So that's going to be a shared bathroom right there. And here, a queen size bedroom set would fit perfectly in here, possibly even a king, but the queen would just be perfect. Got your storage closet right here. So love this loft area. Then as you head down this hallway, look at this. Beautiful sconces. Tell me that doesn't just set the tone. What a fantastic job. Okay, now heading into the next bedroom. Look how roomy it is. So each bedroom has a ton of space. So they do have the outlets inside of the baseboards, as you notice right here. So it gives it that discreet look. If you plan to, hook up a lamp or anything of that nature, you don't have to worry about, the cords all in the way and going to Amazon and having to find a discreet cover. Now heading over here, let me show you this. Look how beautiful this is. Wow. Wonderful. Quartz countertops, flat panel cabinets, nice mirror frame right there. You got a sliding glass door. Look how spacious this is. So like I said earlier, that multi-generational living is the epitome of this. And let me know in the comments if I'm going too fast for you or too slow. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always like to get that feedback from you. All right, now as we head over here, so you have 3 doors inside of this hallway. So this will be your furnace. And I always like to open every single door because sometimes whenever you're watching a video and maybe the one that's doing the video tour isn't opening some of those doors, then that mystery continues and you never get to fulfill or answer that question. All right, so this will be your 5th and final bedroom. Extremely spacious, a ton of room available inside of here. Again, the tall baseboards continues, all wood flooring inside of each and every bedroom and common area, except for, of course, the bathrooms, where we have the beautiful tile. So again, if you wanted to add the floor to ceiling racks inside of here, the wooden, chrome, you can do that. And of course, everything is negotiable. So depending on how you prefer to have the his and hers closets situated downstairs, then, they can obviously make some changes for you. You got your beautiful vanity, beautiful sconce. And here you got that custom cabinets, or those custom cabinets, rather. And you got your walk-in shower. So let me know in the comments what you've thought about this particular floor plan. Is this something you can see yourself living in, right? Close proximity to the beach. Again, Lake Ida right there. A gorgeous luxury home that's been meticulously, curated and just fine-tuned to maximum benefit and extremely practical. So can you imagine every single day walking out here to your family and friends? I don't think you can get much better than this, folks. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the outdoor living. So there's 4 separate lots right here. 2 of them are already sold right now at the time of this recording. So you're gonna have some fantastic neighbors. Now look at this. You got your outdoor Coyote grill. Look how large that is. Then you got your Coyote stainless steel range hood, wood ceiling here. You got an additional sink right there. This looks like that natural quartzite counters. Then it continues up the backsplash. The stucco surrounds back here, the 10-foot sliders you can see. Then you got your little cabana area over there. Outdoor shower. See that straight ahead? So that way you can rinse off before you head inside. You don't have to be dragging everything inside the house. But look how roomy this is. Like I said, this is perfect for entertaining and having just a fantastic time with the entire family and your friends. And then if that wasn't enough, of course, you got your pool and spa already built in, ready to go. You already got the planted trees, great landscaping, even out here. Again, this would be heading out from your primary suite right over here. And then you got your additional area where you can hang out and have some fun in the sun. Wow. Okay. And then I didn't mention in the beginning of the video, but we do have the metal roof as well. So extremely durable. And that's perfect. And that's something that you want, especially on the square footage on this home. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful luxury home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful luxury property tour. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular home. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, looking at another gorgeous model home, this time by Lee Wetherington Homes. You folks love their other models, and I think you will love this one just as much, if not more. So starting on the exterior, you see that we have the beautiful stacked stone. You have the wood accents as well as the stucco and the tile roof. This one is anticipated to hit the market in the next coming days at just under $3.5 million. Now, you do have a 3-car garage over here to the left as well. Then you will notice the stacked stone and the wood accents continue as we walk into the covered front porch. Now, beautiful landscaping. They are, doing some final touches on here. Like I said, this one just opened up not too long ago. So, of course, we're going to give them a little bit of grace. Now, I love the amount of space that you have right here in the driveway. And then as you enter inside of the covered front porch, look at this. The grand double front entrance. Wow, extremely sleek, extremely modern, and that's exactly what you want, right? Especially at this price point. So I'll give you a good glimpse of the entire covered front porch. And then you see, of course, the branded mat right there, Lee Wetherington Homes. But let's get you inside so you can see this beauty. All right. So before I continue, let me go ahead and make sure that you see the front entrance. That way you get a better grasp of the entire layout. So you are going to have the tile flooring as well as the tall baseboards. Beautiful light fixture immediately whenever you walk in, gives it that grand feel that you really want. Now, right over here, you'll see some sleekness, and make sure you stay tuned. A little bit later on, you'll see where that leads to. Now, you are going to have the great room. Look at that. So you have the grand wine cellar, and then of course, opening up to the great room, you will notice the floating ceiling and some ceiling accents, just making this property stand out perfectly. Now, immediately whenever you walk in, this is going to be the open dining area, as you can see. And then that's going to lead, of course, to the great room with the raised ceilings. Look at the built-ins right there. Really nice built-in accents here you're going to see. Just really stands out, of course, curated to perfection. Now, sometimes the video may not do it justice, but let me get you a close-up on that fireplace. Absolutely stunning. Now, you are going to see that marble continuing around there, so it gives it that nice appearance and appeal. And then of course the oversized sliders right there. We'll certainly get to that a little bit later on, but most importantly, let me do a full pan so that way you can get a better grasp. Wow. So you will also notice that you have the accents with the LED right there. Really nice touch. I haven't seen that before, but really a great detail, especially to add to this. But let's go ahead and open up to the kitchen. As soon as we enter inside of here, you see that we have the waterfall countertops. Then you have the sleek custom cabinetry, beautiful LED chandelier right above our tea island. And then of course, Wolf appliances. You're going to see the floating shelves continuing throughout, oversized island. So of course, if you have some of the family over there hanging out right here inside the island, then you can go ahead and prep everything that you need to right here with your sink inside of the island. And then of course, the beautiful view. Look at that. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now let me know what you're thinking about this so far. But what I want to go ahead and do is make sure that you see in some of these cabinets and drawers, so that way you can see how much storage you have available. Now, of course, everything is soft closing. You will notice the accent lighting underneath the cabinetry again right there. And of course, look at this. I wanted to make sure we got into here before we end up forgetting. So of course the tile flooring is going to extend inside of here. Now look at this. You got an additional sink, more sleek cabinetry, some additional storage available right here. You'll notice that same custom cabinet doors that we've seen inside of the kitchen. And then look at that. And then just so you can see, look at that. Nice pass-through that you can take advantage of right there, so you don't have to worry about walking around. Save you a few steps here and there. And then of course you got an additional station with some accent lighting right underneath those cabinet doors. Then you got a nice picture window, some additional cabinetry, and then of course your second refrigerator. Now you will see some outlets that you can also take advantage of, so that way you can have the appliances ready to go at all times. Now you do have the Wolf range. You'll see that right here. You got the 6-burner with the griddle, some more shelving available up there and up there. Then you got the see-through refrigerator, Sub-Zero, and then of course the Wolf built-in appliances. Now the good thing is I don't have to open that up. You can see what we're working with in there. So I love that. And then I'll do a full pan again. All right, so now let's go ahead and continue this way. What I want to go ahead and do is show you this wing of the house. We won't forget about over there, and then we'll take a look at the primary suite. Now heading inside of here, look at this nice utility room. Now you know how I feel as far as the countertops right above the washer and dryer. Then you have the double sliding pocket door, as you can see on both ends, at least an additional built-in sink with the gold spout right there, some additional built-ins with the frosted privacy glass. So you lift this up and you have some additional storage. Beautiful. So plenty of space in here. You're going to see the tile flooring extending in here. And then let's open this up. And you got a nice coat closet. All right, so now I'm going to turn you around. We're going to look at the other bedrooms and continue our tour. Okay, so first bedroom, right off the bat, a ton of walk room. So love the built-ins. Look at that. So you got built-in nightstands on both sides right there. And of course, you got your chandelier hanging down right above your queen size bed. Plenty of space, tile flooring that's going to extend in here. Then I should mention you're going to have the frosted privacy glass whenever you enter into this room, and then you'll see that on the closet door as well. So you already got your built-in wooden racks good to go. Tile flooring extending in there again. And then, of course, your ensuite. So looking above at the ceiling, you see we have the tray. Then you have your walk-in shower. Now, I always have to open this up so that way you can get the full grasp. We do have the shower niche, some nice tile work that you have with the LED lights. And of course, the gold sconce and the gold mirror frame. You got quartz countertops, nice standalone vanity with the gold faucet, and then the frosted privacy glass inside of here. So let me do one more full pan of this entire room. Hopefully you're getting a good grasp of the layout. And like I always mention, you know, I say that all the time. Sometimes the video does it justice, but oftentimes it's nice when you actually can get inside the model, feel, see, smell for yourself, and get all your senses working. Okay, so the next bedroom right here, look at this. So that is a king size bed. As you can see, you got your two nightstands right there. Now let me know in the comments, do you like the standalone nightstands, or did you like the last bedroom when we saw the built-in? That was a pretty nice touch. Beautiful light fixture right above that. You see we got our dresser over here, tall baseboards continuing, and you see you have a ton of room. So while we're at it, you got the double doors leading into your closet. Not quite a walk-in, but you certainly have plenty of shelving space available. And then before we head to our ensuite, from this angle, let me do a full pan so you can see the full scope. Sometimes, you know, depending on the video, it may look like a queen size bed, but when you see it in person, you'll notice that this is certainly a king bed. Okay, so heading into the ensuite. You got the floor to ceiling tile work, shower niche. You got a nice picture window right there, glass enclosed. Beautiful pendant light hanging down, some additional quartz countertops, and a nice, beautiful vanity. All right, so this will be this wing of the house. We'll take a right here. This is going to be entering in from your 3-car garage. You already got your built-in right there. Look at that. You know, we've seen that on the other Lee Weatherington model. The first one, it was called the Haven. Nice little dog bowl filler, like a pot filler, but for the dog bowl, right? Got your storage closet, some additional counter space, then your nice mud area right here for your furry friends. They can hang out there all day as soon as you walk in. And then this, of course, will be your additional closet. And then you got your 3-car garage. So you already got the epoxy flooring. You got the tankless water heater straight ahead over there, ready to go. And you know, Lee Weatherington, I mean, quite frankly, most builders, right? But Lee Weatherington in particular, they do such a fantastic job of really just keeping up with their model homes, but more importantly, they stay ahead of the trends. So you've seen it here first, folks. If some other builders, you know, try to emulate what they're doing here, I don't think they would ever do as great of a job as them. Okay, so as mentioned before, you notice this right here. Believe it or not, this is going to be heading into our primary suite. Let's go ahead and take a look at that first and foremost. So to the right is going to be your primary bath, right? But the coolest thing, let me turn you around real quick. Look at that. Heavy duty door, extremely sleek and hidden. So let's go ahead and start over here first and foremost. Wow, talk about a sanctuary. This is what I'm talking about. So inside of here, looks like we have about, I'd say 13-foot ceilings. You got the floating ceiling with the cove lighting, really creating that illuminescent feel or look rather. You got your French doors leading to your covered lanai. We'll get to that a little bit later. But you got the end-to-end headboard, wallpaper surrounding all four walls with the tall baseboards. You got two dressers right there, plenty of walk room with tile flooring in there. And let me do a quick pan again so you can see the ceiling. Look at that. Really cool feature. And of course, you got your king size bed inside of here. Okay, so right over here to the left, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. So you got the LED lighting illuminating your wardrobe. You see the wood accent right behind here. It's a nice little touch. Look at this. Got some alligator skin right here. Talk about fancy. Soft closing quartz countertops. You got your mirror, of course, picture window. Let me turn you around 1 second. And I do apologize if I'm spinning you around too much. And of course, right here for the dirty clothes. So you got a pocket door right here separating this closet. Then if that wasn't enough, this is the hers closet. No, I'm just kidding. I can already hear you. No, that's an additional closet for you that you could take advantage of. But look at this. So you already got your built-in vanity area. Of course, it looks like it's a desk or something. I mean, quite frankly, you could use this as a desk. You have privacy and peace and quiet. This would be a perfect place for productivity. But you got your floating shelves. You got the accent lighting right behind that nice wood accent, built-in drawers, quartz countertops, perfect vanity area right there. You just add that nice mirror right there and you are good to go with the LED. Couldn't get better than that. Okay, so here's the hers closet. So not only do you get that one right there, you can, store some of your prized possessions as far as your shoes are concerned. You already got your built-in shoe rack right here, but then you got that one over there. Depending on who's going to be fighting for that, maybe y'all can share half and half, 50-50, right? But you see that nice little alligator or snake skin. I'm not a country boy, so that's what I called it. You got your pocket doors right here separating the two. And then heading straight over here, look at this. So I know I got in comments before about, the bathroom or like the primary bathroom, being a distance away from the primary bedroom. So I think you can appreciate that too. So you got that nice floating vanity look right there, sleek cabinetry, the quartz countertops, the LED mirror again. Then you see the wood ceiling right here with some cove lighting. Then you head up your one step right here. You got your nice freestanding soaker tub that you could take advantage of. And look, you already got the drape, so you don't have to worry about privacy. You got some additional storage right there. Just kind of keep the shampoo bottles out of the way. And then look at this. So 0 threshold again. Love that. Nice super shower with the porcelain tile. Nice oversized shower niche. And you got your shower wand, of course. And the gold shower head. Love what I'm seeing. Look at this. The only thing you may want to add is maybe the dual shower head or something like that, or even a rain shower head, and you can make some magic happen. But fantastic job. And last but not least, of course, you got your water closet right over here. Very spacious too, with the pocket door. Okay. So you saw what we're working with. That was the entire primary suite. You can imagine walking out here. All right. So we got a good chance to see everything that we saw on this end. Last but not least, let's go ahead and take a look over here. So this is going to be the shared bathroom, of course. You see we got the floating vanity with the accent lighting underneath, quartz countertops. Then you got the nice sink, beautiful sconce. Look at this, nice little accent wall right there, really neat. So you'll notice every single door had that frosted privacy glass, even this nice little towel closet. And then this is gonna, of course, be your walk-in shower. Now you do have a shower bench inside of here. So you see the quartz countertops, then you got the LED lighting right there, and then the same little backsplash that we just saw right over here to the left. So very generously sized again. And then, like I said, this is gonna be the shared bathroom right here. All right, and now here is our full room reveal. Now this is a perfect game room, bonus room, whatever you decide to use this for, this is perfection. Now you see that you have the beautiful exposed, almost like floating beams in the ceiling right there. Love the built-ins, done a great job of curating the furniture, but then more importantly, the details. And then straight ahead right here, look at this. You have the stack stone wall. Love that. All the way to the ceiling. Great picture window overlooking the entire lake view. And then I just love the amount of space that you have in here. Now you do have a wet bar straight ahead over there with the floating shelves, your built-in, and the beverage fridge that you could take advantage of, and an additional sink. And then, of course, if this isn't enough for you, you just hang out here in your outdoor living space. Now let's go ahead and tackle this together. All right, so the first thing you notice is the stacked stone continues back here. Look at this. Love that. Almost like stacked stone columns that protrude indoor and outdoor. Then you see that we have the stainless steel range hood. Look at the cove lighting surrounding the entire ceiling. That's gonna continue all the way over here in the extended area. That was our primary suite, right? So you have your little private access that you get to take advantage of. And then of course, if you didn't want this to have just more of that lounge feel or anything like that, you can create an additional dining area. You know, we see that with, covered lanais and things like that, where they have an additional seating. So you have the seating straight ahead over there, where of course your grill is. But if you wanted to add some additional seating, you can do that as well. Now, beautiful pool and spa with the lake view. I don't think you could get much better than this, folks. Wow. And then let me head on this side so you can see the full scope of the home. And that was another beautiful model home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful model home tour right here by Lee Wetherington Homes. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. Is this something you can see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we find ourselves in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, looking at this gorgeous model home by Toll Brothers, and it's absolutely exquisite from the interior to the exterior. Now, starting on the outside, you see we have the stacked stone. This is a one-car garage right here on the left, and then your two-car garage bay right over here to the right. Now, of course, this is a model home surrounded by landscaping, but when they do sell it off, down the road, whether that's in a year, 5 years, 10 years, they will convert this right back to a garage so you can have access to the garages. Now, you also notice that Florida vibe that we get a lot out here. Love the way it looks, really just brings that tranquility feel to this home, as you can see. And I love that Toll Brothers, since they are around the entire country, they really conform to the location that they're at. So you do have this nice oversized covered front porch. It is surrounded by the stacked stone. Again, as you can see, you see some accent materials, that the grooves that go into the stucco and the double front door. But more importantly, let's get you inside. Ooh. Look how beautiful this is, family. So immediately when you walk in, you have this beautiful chrome chandelier, 2-story foyer. You see the catwalk straight ahead. And then right here to the right, you're going to have your open study. Look at the materials that we have in here. So we have white oak flooring that extends inside of the study. You already got your built-ins. Look at the beautiful cabinetry, the chrome hardware, oversized chandelier hanging down right above this desk. Look at this. Now, you know, Toll Brothers, they do such a fantastic job of just furnishing their models, and really the decor, and more importantly in the model homes, a lot of the upgrades that you see in here is, oh my goodness, unbelievable. Now, before we continue, let me make sure you see the front. You see the front door right here. You have all those nice windows bringing in all that natural light that we're looking for. And then right over here, this would be the access point to that single car garage bay. You see they already got the epoxy flooring, so plenty of space. You got a recessed area over here so you can have some additional storage that you can take advantage of. And I love that we have the frosted glass inside of the garage door. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of the accent walls inside of here, especially going into some of these, the common areas and things like that. Now, you know, Toll Brothers is known for the glass panes. So that one's locked right there, but that would be your coat closet, of course. And then heading into your living room, look at this. Absolutely stunning. So starting in the living room, we have coffered ceilings. You got the wood ceiling and then the oversized chandelier hanging down right there. The accent walls continue in here. And if down the road you wanted to add a fireplace, you can certainly do that. Love that they have the oversized sliders. So you'll notice that you have sliders inside of the living room and over there in the kitchen, and they're two separate. So if you want to open these up and leave that one closed over there in the kitchen, you can do so, or just open it all up, and then you can certainly do that as well. Very impressive. Now you have the open concept dining, as you can see in here. And then if you're not familiar with Toll Brothers, every single location, as far as the communities, they have a ton of different plans. You know, some are similar, some are completely different. So every single plan can typically suit your needs. Look at this. Now, before we, take a look in the kitchen, I just want you to see you have an additional bar area, like a little more of a dramatic bar area that you can take advantage of. You got the quartz countertops. You got your wine fridge right there. Your built-in cabinet, your cabinetry with the glass panes in there, the chrome hardware. Love that. Okay. So now you have all the family over here hanging out. Then you head over here to your kitchen. You have the waterfall quartz countertops. You notice right here, you have all the cabinet doors. So some more cabinetry that you can take advantage of. You got your stainless steel appliance. You got stacked cabinets with the cabinet crowns on top. Beautiful backsplash. Look how much space you have between the counter and the island over here. So if you have a ton of family in here cooking at one time, you don't have to worry about bumping into each other all the time. And if you're doing dishes, look at this. Beautiful pendant lights here, as you can see. Now, like I always say, this is the model home. So, they dress it to the nine. I always say it's their show off piece, right? And, it's meant to showcase. But you got two-tone cabinetry. You got the cabinets that extends from wall to wall. Love that. And then, a nice pot filler would be perfect right there. But you got your stainless steel range hood, a ton of counter space available. Love that. And then as always, we open up the refrigerator, see what we're working with. Look at this. Like they just went to Costco, got some Cokes, Coke Zero if you want to diet. Just need some Sprite Zero and then you are good to go. Okay. So right over here to the right, you see our powder room. We got the shiplap right there, white oak flooring extending in here as well. I love the white oak floors. Beautiful accents surrounding the entire powder bath. Right over here, you are going to have it's locked right now, but that is your walk-in pantry. So you see it even heads that way. So you have a ton of shelving already built in, ready to go. Over here, we got our utility room. Look at this. All the cabinet space that you need over here. So they already got the quartz countertops, the white cabinetry. Look how much space you have for an oversized washer and dryer. So this is a decent size right here, but look, you still have a ton of more, ton more space to take advantage of. And then look at that. They got it set up with the doggy treats. And then you got another storage closet right there. So I'm going to open every door that isn't locked. We got a lot of locks on this door, but so you got your mud room right here. You already got your hooks already furnished and ready to go. And then you're going to have the 2-car garage bay right over here. So a ton of space. You got a bump out over there. You see the epoxy flooring already ready to go. So whoever gets this model, when they do eventually sell it off, kudos to you. And then as if you were just coming in from work, and look at this. Beautiful. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look over here. So you can have between 4 to 5 bedrooms inside of this plan. And it just depends on your personal needs. But we'll start right over here since we're already here. Why not? You got your nice oversized freestanding tub, quartz countertops. You got your water closet right over there to the left. His and her sinks. You got a little vanity section over here with a picture window. You got a nice super shower. Some people like to call it a party shower. Look how much room you have in here. So not only do you got dual shower heads, dual shower wands, but you also have your waterfall or your rain shower head right here, dead center in the middle. So they decided to opt for the chrome fixtures in here, but you do got 2 shower benches, and then you still have plenty of space in the dual entry that you get to take advantage of. And why not head out through here? Not bad. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this one. Is this something that you can see yourself living in? You see you got some recessed lights. And then I like that it's open. Then you got the his and hers closets. Let me show you this one before we head over there. You got your built-ins, built-in drawers over here. You got black hardware with the white cabinetry. You got some hooks over there, Chanel bags. You are good to go. Now right here, of course, I get comments about that all the time. Why is there no doors in some of your, this is a model home. I keep mentioning that. So they take the doors off the hinges just for ease of access, because plenty of people are going to be coming in and out, every single day. So why not worry about that? But the cool thing about this, you could just add a pocket door right there, have it real nice and sleek, have that minimalist feel that a lot of folks are looking for. Ton of space. All right. And then heading into your primary suite, look at this, family. Wow. Okay. So you got tray ceilings, you got the shiplap as well, recessed lights, beautiful chrome chandelier hanging down. You have that quick access door right there to your backyard oasis. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the tour as always. Can you imagine this view? Now, of course, this is a beautiful sunny day in Florida, right? So one of the best times to do a property tour, but look at this. It's a lot of new development happening out here. If you want to be closer to Tampa, you know, right here, probably about, say about 50, 55 minutes away from Tampa itself, but you still have that tranquil feel that a lot of folks are looking for. And that's a king size bed, the 2 nightstands, your dresser over here. Goodness. All right. So that looks like that was the entire first level. I don't think we missed anything. Of course, we try to open up some of these doors. They are locked right now. But goodness, can't get enough of that. Okay, so let's get you upstairs. So you'll have that bedroom downstairs, of course, and then you'll have the rest of them upstairs. You have some common areas. Really everything you need. So you already see in the common areas, the white oak floors extends up here. Now you come up here and you see your game room. You got the shiplap surrounding it, 2 different colors. So you still have the neutral colors that you get to take advantage of. And I'll stand on this side so you can see how huge this room is. Love that we already have our built-in desks. You see the cabinetry extends right here. You got your television. So you can see this, an L-shaped couch, and you still have a ton of space. Now you do have the floating shelves, but look how open and spacious this is. Perfect for entertaining friends, family, loved ones, all the above. You see we got our glass panes in here. Okay, so head in right here. This is going to be your shared bathroom. You see we got the quartz countertops, the black cabinetry with the chrome hardware. This is going to be your walk-in shower. Of course, you already got your glass sliding doors. But look how roomy and spacious it is in there. And of course the chrome faucet right there. And let me know, would you add a sconce right above that just to kind of complete it? Okay, so this is going to be your second bedroom. You see your second bedroom, it's all by itself, pretty lonesome, but you want to take advantage of this where you get to have your own space. This is going to be a perfect place. Plush carpeting in here. So that's a queen bedroom, queen bed set. You got your 2 nightstands, you got your desk over there, and you still have a ton of walk room. Already got your floating shelves. Love what we're seeing. Now, we've been seeing that quite often here is the wooden racks. So let me know what you think about that as far as the wooden racks are concerned. Do you prefer that? I know the wire racks are not a fan favorite based on the comments that I've gotten before. The house can be absolutely lovely, and then you see those wire racks and it just kind of, knocks off a few points from the home. So I really think that looks, pretty elegant. And then this will be overlooking our foyer from the second level. Look what we're working with. Okay. So it looks like we have the 20-foot ceilings in here. Then continue, this is going to be the remainder of the bedroom. So you'll have a total of 3 over here. So we'll start on this side first and foremost. So you got some wainscoting. Look at that little small window right over there. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Down here, pretty cool. Looks real modern, really unique. My 1-year-old, I'd be worried about him pushing off of that. All right, so now you got your ensuite over here. You see, you got your vanity with the quartz countertops. This is going to be the shower tub combo. I love our shower surround though. Love what I'm seeing. Love the neutral colors like I mentioned. And that's pretty cool. It just kind of tucked away over here. And then you got your nice walk-in closet right here. So for the square footage that you get inside of this home, done a great job of maximizing it. And, of course, they're professionals, right? These production builders, like a Toll Brothers. So they do what they got to do to ensure a satisfied customer. You got your furnace right there. And then this is going to be our fourth bedroom right here. Look at what we got. So you don't have a walk-in closet. Of course, you're going to have your closet doors on here. But, you know, other ones, we did see the walk-in closets. You got your queen bedroom set, your 2 nightstands, your dresser over there. Ton of walk room available. The recessed lights extends in here. You can add the ceiling fan down the road. And of course, your ensuite. So let me know what you're thinking about the materials in here, what you're thinking about the entire floor plan. Is this something you can see yourself living in with the family for the next 5, 10, 15 years? And you know, a lot of people want to move to Florida, so this might be something for you. And then our fifth and final bedroom. So right here, you'll have a door separating the two, but look how massive this looks. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a king size bed, your 2 nightstands. Look how much room you have on both sections. This is almost like a second primary suite. Sorry about that. Almost like a second primary suite right here. This is impressive. Let me stand on this side. We'll see for the ensuite if we have a ton of room, but you got an additional sitting area over there. Look how much room you have available. The recessed lights, and then not even mentioning the view. Look at this, a lakefront view. Wow. Okay. And then we got a walk-in shower with the chrome as well. You got your shower pan down there. And then let me know, would you add a mirror frame in there just to kind of complete it? Or do you like it bare bones like that? But I love that you have so much space inside of here. So trust me, y'all are going to be fighting. Somebody's going to be fighting for this room if they're going to be on the second level. Almost like another primary suite. And I love that we got the walk-in closet. So there was only one bedroom here that didn't have the walk-in closet. And then of course, you'll see a lot of the times that the square footage will always have a plus sign on it for, you know, some of these production builders, especially like a Toll Brothers. So if that's the case, then you know you can make some modifications, slight modifications, nothing crazy. Let me just get my shoes on real quick. Some slight modifications to it and possibly add some more room to some of the areas that you may want. All right. But last but not least, family, let's go ahead and end the tour as always in the backyard. I appreciate you for staying here towards the end of the video. I always save the best for last, so let's go ahead and see. All right. This is what I'm talking about. So as you can see, the stucco surrounds the back of this house here. You've got the stucco surrounding the columns over here, but look how spacious and roomy it is. This is the epitome of a backyard oasis, family. You already see that you got your patio equipment, your built-in grill, an additional sink, the stainless steel range hood right above that, a beverage fridge right there, additional counter space. Look at this. You hear that beautiful sound? That's what you think of when you think of Florida. Look how massive this pool is. I'm telling you, whoever gets this model home, when they put it up for sale, you will not be disappointed. So you got some additional yard over here. Then you see you got a little tanning spot. You got your sunken area over here where you can hang out with the entire family. So you can easily fit 50, 60 people out here. Have you a nice party. Just make sure folks pick up after themselves. So you got some turf area over here. And then why not? We got a lizard over here, but as if we're just hanging out. Look at this. You can't get much better than that, family. But other than that, that was another beautiful property tour by Toll Brothers. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful home by Toll Brothers. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular home. Is this something you could see yourself living in? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description below. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another wonderful property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, looking at another gorgeous model home by Stock Luxury Homes. This one is called the Margot 3, and it's actually the fourth one we've seen on this channel, and I can't wait to show you inside of this one. Now, starting on the exterior, you see that we have the beautiful stucco. You also are going to have some trim that adds a lot of character to the exterior of the home. Then you are going to have a long driveway, additional parking right over here to the left, and the 3-car garage right over here to the right. Now, I love that we have the LED lights surrounding this. Now, it's, of course, in the daytime, right, where you really can't see it, but you can only imagine at nighttime, this one's standing out. Now, right here, you have this massive covered front porch. That's one of the greatest feedbacks that we've seen about Stock Luxury, is because they take pride in their home. So you're going to see the soaring ceilings inside of the covered front porch, as well as the great room. We'll get to that a little bit later on. You do have the outdoor light fixtures as well. And then, of course, the iron door front entrance. Look at that. So you got the glass panes surrounding that, and an additional window right there, bringing in some more natural light that a lot of folks are looking for. But without further ado, let's get you inside. Okay, so as soon as you enter in, the first thing you notice is the 2-story foyer. Beautiful pendant light hanging down right there. And then, of course, you see you got the tall baseboards, white oak flooring that's going to extend inside of the great room. And look at those soaring ceilings as well. So what I want to do first and foremost is take you through the study. So you're going to have the French doors immediately whenever you walk in. You see you have the tray ceilings right there. And then, of course, the massive window with the grids inside. Now, they are going to have some floating shelf that you're going to notice inside of here. Then you got the built-ins right here. So if you need some additional drawers or cabinetry, you certainly have that. And then I love the fact that the desk is right here, so you can see the amount of space that you get to work with. Now, inside of the French doors, you are going to have the glass panes, as I mentioned previously. And then right above here, you got this LED chandelier hanging down. So extremely spacious. The cool thing about this one is that this is going to have 3 designated bedrooms. But the cool thing is that you are going to be able to add an additional bonus room. If you wanted to make that the 4th bedroom, you can certainly do that. No issues whatsoever. Now, what I want to go ahead and do is do an entire full pan of this great room. Wow. So the first thing that comes to my mind, and you let me know in the comments if you agree, is absolute luxury. So you see you have the built-in recess areas with the sconce on both ends. Then you got this beautiful chandelier hanging down. Now you are going to have the exposed beams running from end to end, adding a lot more detail again with the recess lights. You're going to have 14-foot ceilings. And then, of course, on the top of the tray, you're going to have 15-foot ceilings. So that just gives you at least an idea of the size of these ceilings here. Now, look at this. So you have the great room, and then, of course, opening up to the kitchen, your 10-foot sliders right here, where you can open that entire slider up, go ahead and have that indoor-outdoor living feel. Now, I'm gonna get you on this side. You see the white oak flooring extends here. That's even gonna continue all the way to the kitchen. We'll see that in a second. And then this will give you a little better glimpse of the entire layout here. That's exactly what I like to see. Okay, so there's been nothing but great feedback about Stock Luxury, and I think this one is knocking your socks off so far, hopefully. Of course, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So now heading into the kitchen, you see we have this oversized island right here, quartz countertops. You have the stacked cabinetry that's going to go at least surrounding the perimeter of the kitchen. You have the wooden range hood. The quartz countertops extends over there. Wolf appliances. So they didn't go cheap. They definitely went high end, and I love to see that. Now you are going to see you have the chrome hardware that's going to complement the quartz countertops. Then you got a 5-burner cooktop here, and you can see the matching backsplash that's going to continue all the way around there. Now you have the Cove dishwasher down here, sink inside of the island. You can see how much space you have to work with. Now this is going to be just under 4,000 square feet, just to kind of give you an idea. And then that, at least the entire layout is going to be practical. So you got your trash drawer right here, all soft closing. You notice you got the two-tone cabinetry from the island to the cabinetry surrounding the perimeter, and then additional storage. So as always, we like to open these up so that way you can see how much space you get to work with. Now that's soft closing cabinet doors again. And then just even looking at the space between the island and the counter space over here. So if you like to have multiple people inside of the kitchen, this is perfect. Then you got your Sub-Zero wine fridge built into the sink. And then, as always, you know we have to open up the refrigerator. So that'll show you how much space you have to work with. Of course, the freezer right down there, double doors. And then of course, you have some additional cabinetry right next to this. So I have all your spices in here, hidden away, stowed away, and you are good to go. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna continue on this wing right here. And then just so you see that, well, how about we just take a look at our formal dining? Why not, right? Look how much space. So you see that you have a 6-seater dining table here. You can comfortably fit 8 folks without an issue whatsoever. Then you see the high ceilings with the tray continuing here. Beautiful, beautiful light fixture. Love to see it. All right, so we got a glimpse of that. Now I'll make sure we don't miss the pantry. So you see we have a walk-in pantry, wooden racks in here. And then of course, like I always mention in these tours, if you need some additional shelving, you can go ahead and extend that a little bit higher if need be. But let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this floor plan. Again, this is the Margot 3, and we've seen other ones like the Claiborne, we've seen the Wyndham, we've seen the Gardenia. And so you may be noticing some similarities inside of these models, but then also some slight nuances that may make this plan a little bit more appealing than the other. Okay, so you got your chandelier hanging down right there. Then of course, like I mentioned, the white oak flooring extends inside of here. You got a dresser, king size or queen size bed, and the 2 nightstands. You probably could fit a king size bed here comfortably. Actually, you really could. Love that. Okay, we'll see the walk-in closet in a second, but first and foremost, let's see our ensuite. Here we go. Quartz countertops, sconce inside the mirror, nice large pane. And then of course, your generously sized walk-in shower. Okay, so you got some tiling detail. Again, right there, you got a little curb right here. You can see that down there, but you do have the shower niche. That's what I'm talking about. Then you got the cabinet crowns right there. You got your little towel closet that you can take advantage of. Real sleek, but luxurious at the same time. Okay, so the tall baseboards are going to extend in here. And then now we got the wooden racks. I'm so happy we don't have wire racks in here. I'm telling you, I get eaten alive. And I know it's not personal, right? But honestly, for now on out, I'm thinking about just going ahead and walking out of the home and not showcasing it if it has wire racks. So glad we got the wooden racks in there. All right, so now you continue down this wing. This is of course gonna head to your 3-car garage, but look at your laundry room right here. So you got a pocket door separating those. Beautiful backsplash. And then look at that, from wall to wall surrounding, you got additional cabinetry. And then you see you got plenty of space for an oversized washer and dryer. You do have the Whirlpool. Some folks like the Maytag or GE. So it really just depends on holding it against them. We got an additional sink right here. Let me just open up some of these for you as well. That's what I'm talking about. And even inside of the laundry room, you got soft closing cabinet doors. Okay, not trying to spin you around too much. I know how it is watching this back. And then of course, look at this. 3-car garage, epoxy flooring. You got your quick access door right over there to the left. And then so you can imagine opening up these garage doors and you just have a ton of driveway. Okay. All right, so we've seen this wing of the house. So right where this study was, that's gonna be, of course, where our primary suite was, but I wanna show you the other areas first and foremost, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. Now let's head through the kitchen. Now you got your little breakfast nook as well. I didn't show this one that much, but I want you to see how much space you still have. So of course you have the formal dining and then your breakfast nook right here. You can just hang out where, I mean, most likely you're gonna hang out at least the most amount of time right there. Then on this wing of the house, this is gonna have a pocket door separating the two. So you can see this. So if you want to just close this off, depending if you're entertaining or not, or if you have some family that's staying in here, that's going to determine how often you keep that door closed. But look at this. So you got your next bedroom right over here. Beautiful chrome light fixture, queen size bed, 2 nightstands, a dresser over here, and look how much walk room you still have available. Now this one's going to have an ensuite as well. Generously sized walk-in closet. Love it. And I know that I mentioned this before, but the reason why I really love walking through model homes is just because typically every room is furnished, right? And, I know I've done a couple vacant tours and things like that. It just doesn't really hit the same for some reason. I mean, I know the reason, of course, right? The furniture is appealing. Looks like someone lives there and just gives you a better idea. But if you notice, I've been doing a lot more model homes, at least lately. We're going to change it up a little bit pretty soon. Get you back into some nice luxury tours, but there were just so many to get that I couldn't even get to them in time. So this one's going to have the shower tub combo right here. You see that we have the shower niche again. I love that. Then you got like the chevron pattern tile work right there, surrounding those 3 sides. And then of course, you got your vanity over here. So real sleek, real nice. And then the tile flooring is going to extend inside of the bathroom. Now continuing down, this is going to be a shared bathroom. So I did mention earlier that you can have up to 4 bedrooms, right? So this would be your optional 4 bedroom, and you can customize this however you like, but you do got the quick access door to your outdoor living, right? Your covered lanai. And then this is just going to show you our shared bathroom. So you got this honeycomb type tiling on the shower floor, quartz countertops, the white mirror frame with the sconce inside the mirror, an additional walk-in shower with the shower niche. Love what I'm seeing. And then that honeycomb tiling extends right there for our shower floor. Okay, so now separating this bonus room right here, you're going to be able to access it through that hallway that we just went through, but then also you have a pocket door right here. And look at this. The soaring ceilings continues inside of here. Look at that. You got an accent wall. You got a wet bar right over here to the right. So, I mean, if you don't have to have it as a 4th bedroom, of course, I would definitely say this is one of the best options to have it just as a bonus room, a game room, a hangout space. And then goodness gracious, look, you got the bathroom right there. You really wouldn't even have to leave. Look at that massive TV. Oh my goodness. You can see yourself just hanging out here having a good time Monday through Sunday after work, of course. But just look how much room you have in here. Now, if you did make this a 4th bedroom, goodness gracious, as far as the competing with the primary suite, you might not want to be over there, even though you do got the his and hers closets. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Okay, enough of that. So this is going to be a Gen Air beverage fridge right over here to the left. You're going to see that. Then of course you got your quartz countertops, the matching backsplash, or at least the, the color combination looks fantastic. Even with the cabinetry, just really adds that sleek element. Then if that's not enough, you got your sliders right here heading out there again. So you not only do you have that quick access door right here, if you want to just keep that closed, you got your additional sliders. Love it. And then of course, walking back out here, look how grand this looks. Wonderful. Okay. So again, we already, recapped the great room, the kitchen, the dining, all the other bedrooms. Last but not least, of course, is going to be our primary suite. Before we go ahead and head there, just want to show you really quickly your powder bath. So the white oak floors continues in here. You got your floating vanity, you got your pendant light hanging down, and then the wallpaper surrounding that. Okay, so in here, you're gonna have your French doors leading here. So you have a dry bar with an additional Gen Air refrigeration straight ahead. Then of course the recessed lights and the tray ceilings, adding a fantastic element. But what I wanna go ahead and do, we'll start over here to the right and make our way back. Look at how awesome this is. Wow. So not only the neutral colors, right? But the high ceilings, or at least the raised ceilings, your beautiful light fixture hanging down, king size bed, your 2 nightstands, your dresser, additional sitting area over there, French doors leading to your little private patio that you could take advantage of. And look at that view. As always, we always wrap the tour up out there, so we'll get to that a little bit later on. Let's finish up the rest of the tour. So I'm gonna do a full pan so you can see the full scope of the primary suite. Just to show you how much room you have. The white oak floors continues in here. What a great combination. And then of course, nice tall windows with the grids, bringing in some natural light. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, his and hers closets. Let's see the first one right here. So you already got your built-in drawers, your built-in cabinetry, built-in shelving. Again, look how much space you have in here. So this is going to be the perfect his closet. The white oak floors continues in here. You got another mirror right here. It's not a full body mirror, but hey, you can just make sure your jewelry's on nice and everything's good to go. The only thing I would have changed about this, and you let me know if you agree, is just add pocket doors for the closets. But other than that, fantastic. And of course, that's something that can be done pretty, or at least relatively easy. And of course, you see this one's a little bit larger than the other one, hence why I said this one would be hers. And of course, you got the full body mirror, right? So there we go. So look at that. Your built-in drawers again, built-in cabinetry right above that. An additional space. I gotta open this. Look at this. For your laundry right there. Dirty laundry, you are good to go. Keep that stowed away. Perfect. Now you got an additional storage closet. I anticipate you just store your linens in here, some towels possibly, and you're good to go. And then one more glimpse of your little dry bar area. All right, so let's take a look. Our primary bath, you got the his and hers sinks. You see that we have the quartz countertops, the sconce in the mirror. Look at that. We got a nice soaker tub straight ahead right there. You don't have to worry about it being inside of the inside of the shower. That was the last tour. I know I heard that, and I called it in the video, so just to kind of warn you. So you got this neat looking wallpaper that's going to continue from floor to ceiling, or at least the baseboards. And then this will give you a better glimpse of the additional sink over there. Nice size freestanding tub. And then heading into our super shower. Look at this. I know some folks call it the party shower or super shower. I like to call it that. But you got your chrome shower valves, shower wand, and then of course your shower head, the porcelain tile that's going to surround the entire perimeter, as you can see, of the entire shower. The only thing is the shower bench. That's the only thing I would add in there. You can get, you know, a little freestanding one, no issues, but depending if you use that often, that's going to determine if that's a big deal to you. So the wallpaper actually extends inside of our water closet here, as well as the tall baseboard. So very well decorated, very well put together. And of course, each one of these models is curated by a complete professional, right? So you probably have noticed that time and time again, especially with Stock Luxury. They've done a fantastic job. Okay, now last but not least, let's go ahead and take a look at our outdoor living. Wow. So the soaring ceilings continues out here. And like I mentioned, you know, sometimes you have to come out here and at least see this for yourself. Sometimes the videos don't do it justice. And I'm just being quite honest with you. I mean, sometimes it does. Hopefully you don't get out here and be disappointed. That would be the last thing I want you to do. But you got the herringbone pattern tiling surrounding the fireplace. You got your mantle again. And then the ceramic tile, at least the wood-like tile, extends all the way to the ceiling right there. Then you got the tray wood ceiling combination. Again, you see the extension of our outdoor living. That's going to continue straight ahead over here. But I just always love when we come out here, especially to these Stock Luxury homes, is because they really take pride as far as their outdoor living space. I mean, the home itself, right? But just the outdoor living, they really took their time, curated the furniture, and really just done a fantastic job. Okay, so over here, of course, where our primary suite is, right? That's going to be our little private patio, per se. And then you got your pool and spa, and then that's going to continue over here. So remember, that was the bonus room or the fourth bedroom if you want to opt for that. A quick access door right here, so additional living area. Then you got a nice little high bar, a built-in sink, built-in grill, stainless steel range hood, some additional counter space, and of course, some custom cabinetry. And of course, you got a little refrigeration right here. And just look at the full scope of this. Wow, love it. And then, of course, you got your additional area over here, hang out, enjoy the views, just have a fantastic job. Look, you can even have a nice little conversation with your neighbor over there. If you like them. If not, you probably want to plant some privacy trees or something like that. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful model home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful model home tour by Stock Luxury Homes. This one was the Margot 3. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. Is this something you can see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. I'll see you folks on the next property tour.